7.
And tonight at VFL Park, it's the second quarter final between Hawthorn and Melbourne. And there's the Brownlow medalist, Bertie Di Domenico. The man who's had the cup in his hands the last 2 years, Michael Tuck. The brilliant Peter Russo. Also first gamer, Robert Dixon. Spearhead, Jason Dunstall for the Hawks. Watch for the green boots of Dermot Brereton. John Kennedy, of course, always dangerous wherever he goes. And best on the ground in the first round, Gary Ayres, the brilliant defender. Tony Simons will be on the sidelines tonight. Russell Green won't be. He'll be in the thick of the action with high-flying Peter Curran. Also there, Chopper Handley, still trying to get a regular spot. Russell Morris, a real up-and-comer, and the brilliant Johnny Platten. In the Melbourne rooms, a couple of old and new demons, Joe Rigolo and Earl Spalding. Also there, Robert Flower, well, he's still in bloom. Best on the ground in his first round match. The tall Steve O'Dwyer, a big ruckman, he should enjoy St Pat's Day. Graham Yates there talking to coach John Northey, a very important cog. Greg Healy, the new South Australian recruit Todd Viney. Danny Hughes, a rugged defender. Brian Wilson, the former Brownlow medalist, ready for action too, as too is Peter Giles. Stephen Stretch had a great first year last year, and Warren Dean was most impressive in his first round match. Here come the Hawks now, making their entry onto VFL Park, which is in perfect condition on this very warm night for the second quarter final. They'll be taking on the new look Demons, and here they come in their dark blue colours. So it's the Hawks and the Demons. A warm, balmy night in Melbourne. The action about to hot up in the National Panasonic Cup at VFL Park. And the toss of the coin being effected in the centre of the ground now, opposing captains Michael Tuck and Robert Flower. Umpire George Lawler tossing the coin. Michael Tuck calls tails. Tails it is, and Michael Tuck will kick to the right of screen. And no breeze at all, the ground in absolutely perfect condition here at VFL Park. Let's go up to the commentary box and say good evening to Peter Landy.
And a very good evening to you, Pete. Happy St Patrick's Day, everyone. Good evening to Lou Richards.
Good evening, Peter.
And good evening to Don Scott.
Good evening, Peter. Lou.
And of course, what prompted me to say that was the green boots of number 23 for Hawthorn, Dermot Brereton. And the fellow that wore number 23 before him is sitting next to me. Don, would you have worn them as well?
Oh, I think I would have, Lou. 23s have always been Lairs.
Well, it doesn't matter. The most important thing, as we said before, Pete, it doesn't matter what colour boots you're wearing. If you can't get the ball, you can't kick it. If you're playing a bad game, you look more outstanding.
Yes, that's true.
But it's certainly colourful of Dermot, but they're not really green. They're rather a lime
colour. In actual fact, quite a few Hawthorn players used to wear that colour years ago.
Robert Flower played a great game, of course, the last time he was out here in a night game, and that was against Richmond. He kicked a goal in each quarter and was, of course, instrumental in Melbourne's win. Hawthorn pretty close to full strength tonight, not apart from Buckenara and Wallace.
Well, it's a good sign, Peter. They're very interchangeable, and whether they line up the way they've been named, we just wait until the ball's bounced. Brian Wilson played a really good game last year, lost a lot of weight and looks very, very fit.
Umpires for tonight's match are Brian Sheehan and George Lawler, as we saw.
There's the Dipper, the 1986 Brownlow medalist, and of course he performed so well last year in these night series. And of course, let's hope, Don and Peter, this game is just as, let's say, a half as good as the match that was played on Saturday night.
I think if it comes up anywhere near it, Lou, it'll be a ripper.
Young Loveridge there, a very handy player, played very well in the first match that Hawthorn played in this night's Panasonic Cup.
Hawthorn defeated North Melbourne in the first round, and Melbourne defeated Richmond. This is the second quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup. Hawthorn kicking to the right of screen, no breeze at all, and Melbourne to the left of VFL Park. O'Dwyer gets it down, picked up by Yates. Yates up to half forward, and an easy mark down there to Morris on the edge of the square. The ground in absolutely ideal condition. The series opened with some superb weather tonight. Absolutely one out of the box. Ball up towards Hawthorn's right half forward flank. And picked up for the Demons and driven forward.
Brereton's injured behind
Stretch.
play, Peter. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, he was looking very proppy. I don't know whether he got one in the groin or whatever.
It's his ankle, I think. It's a new boots, or maybe a thigh.
Now it looks as though it could be the thigh.
It looks like, doesn't it?
Could be.
Well, that's a blow for them. Knocked down by O'Dwyer again. Picked up by Bailey, who fires out an ineffectual hand pass. And a chance for Viney to pick the ball up, which he does, but it's over the line again.
And of course Melbourne have got Peter Moore playing down there at full forward, with Langford doing the defending on Peter Moore.
Boundary thrown again. Right next to the National Panasonic sign on centre wing. Chance for Loveridge to pick the ball up. It's almost out of bounds on the full, but the boundary umpire says it will be a throw in. So the Demons putting a lot of pressure on the Hawks, not allowing any of their runners to get loose. Dwyer and Deer. Brereton still on the ground. Down by Dwyer again, if you could call it a knockdown. Picked up by Russo. His opposite number 4 is Giles. Giles still inside the square. He'll put Melbourne into attack. Goes out wide, knocked away by Morris again for Hawthorn. Robbie Flower on centre wing. Position he knows and plays so well. With Johnson in front. Opposition from Loveridge. Yates late on the scene. It's going to be a bounce right on the 50-metre line.
What a game Robert Flower played the last time that Melbourne played in this National Panasonic Cup too. He was the match winner.
Yes, he certainly was. 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. No scorers yet.
And the ball out of bounds on that half-forward line for Melbourne. Knocked out. That was a good knockout by line, but it wasn't well directed. And the ball is out of bounds. It's about 40 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Peter Moore coming to the ruck to do battle against Langford. Actually, Moore got that out. He was looking for Batterson's got a chance to pick it up. It's pushed on by line. And this is little Loveridge, always a busy worker for the Hawks. Out towards the wing position, Robert Flower again. He's well collared that time by Platten. And the umpire will say it's holding the ball against Hawthorn's Russo. The free kick going to Viney. That's his second touch since the match started. Number 12. Drives the ball long up there looking for Peter Moore in the front posse. Punched out by Langford. The ball kicked on again. Moore goes after it again. He's grabbed plenty of pushing and shoving going on there, and the umpire will ball it up about 10 metres out from the Melbourne goal. Just over the 3-minute mark. No scorers yet in this second quarter-final of the National Panasonic Cup for 1987. Peter Moore got one in the back that time from Langford. The ball cleared back towards centre-half back. The pack fly. Little Platten's the one that pushes out, but Robert Flower again goes in. Back to Wilson. He gets a hand pass back to Big Dwyer.
Russo down.
And Russo down, as Pete said, not looking too good. The ball out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will go to Michael Tuck, the Hawthorn captain, out there on that half-back flank position. Now it's going back to Di Pierdomenico. Got the socks down and all. There's the kick by Di Pierdomenico. Curran in front. Got his hands to it. Couldn't hold the mark. Kicked off the ground by Wilson. Plenty of struggling going on there. Tuck comes in again. Gets a hurried kick back towards but Spalding's there in front of Brereton. He looks as though he's recovered. He copped one on the gob that time. I think he may have overacted, but the umpire still fell for it. And it's a free kick. So it's Dermot Brereton, yellow boots and all, or green boots and all, to take that free kick out there on that half ball on the centre wing position. Punched out by Hughes, picked up by Platten, always ever ready, fires for the goals, and this is a good kick. Goal. And that'll be a goal. Just over the 4.5-minute mark, and the Hawks get the first score on the board. It's a goal. 1 goal, 6 points to Melbourne yet to score.
Knockout goes Hawthorn's way. Two Hawthorn players collided. It was Curran putting his skipper Tuck out of business. Back it comes to Platten, who kicked the last goal, to Curran at half forward. Curran goes for a pass, finding Russo, knocked away by Bailey, picked up by Johnson. Johnson wide of the circle, long ball up the half forward, could have been almost in the back to Lester Smith. The Demons moving the ball well. Chance for Batterston. Dean comes in to help him out. A scramble develops. Good tackle again by Batterston. Lester Smith fires out the hand pass, tries to find Eade, who goes down. On the shoulder.
The line.
So it's a line ball. It will be taken in the left forward pocket. He's about 30 metres out from goal, and the angle you can see. So a chance to level the score. Didn't exactly set the world on fire in the previous game, Lou, did he?
No, he didn't, but he's got a lot of talent, this young fellow. He performed very well last year.
As the Demons would be expecting big things from him. He's gone for a short pass. That wasn't a good play. Mew gets put out of business. Russo puts the ball out of bounds. So weight aplenty in the first 6 minutes of the opening term. Although certainly so far not as vigorous as we saw on Saturday night.
Still pretty early on the night yet, Pete. They usually warm up these night matches.
Yes, especially in conditions like these. Dwyer and Deer, won by Deer, picked up by Lyon. His kick was smothered off the boot. Lester Smith will be content to see the ball over.
Peter Moore telling Dwyer to go back to the centre of the ground. He'll take the knockout, Pete.
Well, it gets pretty crowded down there otherwise, doesn't it? Moore didn't play in the opening round of this competition. Loveridge to Lester Smith, who fumbles again over the boundary line, and once again we'll see a throw in.
It was a good smother that time by Dean. He played pretty well in that last match Melbourne played in too, Don.
Yes, he played up forward, Lou, and was very good along with Spalding.
I saw Alan Jeans on camera just a few moments ago. And a very interesting comment to me while I was in the room, so I'll repeat it later. It's quite funny. Coming back to Michael Tuck. Tuck in everything so far for Hawthorn. Knocked away by Newport. Chance for Yates onto the right foot. Snapshot. A goal would level the scores. Goal umpire indicating one behind only. The crowd liked it. Must have just missed 5 points the difference as we approach the 7.5-minute mark of the first quarter. Interchange for Hawthorn. Russo coming off, it would appear, and let's see who's coming on. It will be number 42, and that's Jenke.
Ball back into play now by Langford. Short pass, dangerous, but Morris has got it. He secured that. Varney a bit late on the scene. A hand pass over to Rodney Eade from the 50-metre defence line. Drives the ball back. And there's a good mark. Oh, he's paying that mark to Bailey. I thought so. And Bailey's got the mark out there on the centre wing position. It's a high kick over the centre half forward line. Down to Tuck again. As Pete said, he was grabbed that time. He wasn't in everything. DiPierdomenico taps it out to Lester Smith. He's gone wide. That's a shocking kick, but I don't think he might have gone for the boundary line. There's a chance for Johnson to grab it in time, but he was going too quickly, couldn't pull up, and the ball is out of bounds. It's about 70 metres around from the Melbourne goal.
Terry Gay looking at Peter Russo, who copped a heavy knock a few moments ago.
5 points the difference. Approaching the 8.5-minute mark of this first quarter. Kicked off the ground by Ayres. Best player on the ground the last time Hawthorn played here at VFL Park. Oh, Bailey went hard, copped one from Kennedy. Ayres over to Green. Green out there on the centre wing position. Drives the ball long to centre half forward.
Free kick.
Free kick. And the free kick will go there to Giles. Giles has got the job of minding Curran. A sensational mark. Doesn't drop many marks once he gets the hands on them. Ball hits the deck again. Johnson tries to thread his way through the pack. Jenke's on his back over to Loveridge. Back to Mew from centre half back on that half forward line. Drives it down to the pocket. Successful. And Dunstall's got it marked there with inside the 50-metre line. Well, I think by the time he kicks, it'll be 50 metres out. Pretty difficult angle, but this fella's usually a pretty accurate kick. The ex-banana bender become a very confident full forward. There's the kick on its way. Hit the post. A bit of bad luck. So Hawthorn move on now to 1 goal, 7 points to Melbourne yet to score a goal. And they're 1 point on the board. 9.5 minutes gone. Let's go down to Peter Donegan, a man on the ground.
Thanks, Lou. They thought that Peter Russo might have had slight concussion when he came off the ground, but Terry Gay has just had a look at him, and good news for Hawthorn. Apparently he's quite okay.
Okay, Pete. Free kick going to Brian Wilson, Brownlow medalist. He's at the right half-back flank for Melbourne. Goes for a short pass, tries to find Robbie Flower. But really, as we've seen on so many occasions here, you've got to go straight down the ground. And Don, I think you were going to say that was great play by Batterston. Which it was. Lester Smith picking up the crumbs, doesn't he always, at half-back. Back towards centre field. Loose ball, Hawthorn's half-forward line. Platten may get there first or try to open it up for Green, but Bailey beat both of them. Back towards centre wing, marked at Johnson. Over the top, excellent hand pass. On the run is Newport, just gets his kick in. Up towards the forward pocket, strong mark taken down there by Russell Morris over the top of Moore and Yates.
Morris has started off pretty well tonight down there in defence.
Yes, he and Lester Smith have had quite a few touches. Long kick to centre field, tries to find Curran. Got two hands to it, backing up his ears. Eade over to Langford. Not the best of kicks. Tried to find Brereton. Loveridge again. Loveridge from centre field gets around Batterston. He's gone for a pass. Langford well up the ground. He's at left half forward flank. Good shepherd by Brereton on Giles. Into the square. Dunstall at the back. Touched through by Danny Hughes. One behind to Hawthorn at the 11-minute mark of the term.
Early in this first quarter, both Hawthorn key defenders, Mew and also Langford, running right down the ground, giving the forwards plenty of opportunities.
Hughes looking for a lead across the half-back line for Melbourne. He's gone out wide. Brereton again got a hand to it, so too did Curran, but picked up for Melbourne down there by Newport. Onto the centre wing position, Schwab with Flower. It's out of bounds. Only 1 goal scored so far, and that was to Hawthorn's John Platten. An excellent shot. It's going to be O'Dwyer with Deer. Now the ruckman gets an effective tap out. In goes Flower, close to the boundary line, slung, but he didn't have the ball. And the obvious free kick going to the Demon veteran.
Well, Robert Flower started off all right. I think he's had about 3 possessions so far.
Giles doesn't look too good behind play either.
Yes, I just noticed him back there, Don. He's looking a little bit proppy. Picked up by Newport. Up towards half forward. Now a chance for Wilson, but he spilt it. And not a good hand pass either from Hawthorn. Out it goes to Yates, who has a flying shot at goal. Into the square, and a strong mark is taken by Chris Mew.
Good. There's Giles not looking too good. I think it looks as though it's his foot.
Ankle or thereabouts.
Yeah, we'll see Lester Smith grabbing that one there from Mew. Well intercepted that time. A good bit of play on the part of Yates.
He's playing well too.
He moves okay.
3 touches.
More moving around away from Langford. But he's decided to go for the big kick. This will put more under pressure now. Punched it out. Swab tries to thread his way through the pack. He gets a kick out. Johnson coming in now, showing a lot of pace. Oh, look at that for a left foot snap. Just about put it out there on the car park. Giles limping off the ground, and that's the best way to do it. You can't leave him out there when they're like that.
Well, not when you've got 3 interchange players.
That's right.
It's silly, isn't it?
7 points the difference, just over the 13-minute mark at this second quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup for 1987. Picked up by Bailey, not doing a bad job tonight. He's had quite a few touches in this first quarter. Up to Moore and Langford. Langford goes to Spoil. Going through that time was Line. Grabbed it right on the boundary line, but it's out of bounds right against the Melbourne point post.
It's obviously a plan, Melbourne, to kick it up high to Moore. But the little fellows from Melbourne are not getting under and getting the crumbs. We see there Giles getting his ankle attended to. Looks like the lateral ligament. Good
on you, Doc. That's not a bad diagnosis from here, is it? Really? That's. Tell you what, I'll come and see when I get a crook ankle. Over to Swab. He gets through the pack nicely, and it's picked up by Lester Smith. Always picks up a lot of kicks. A great player. Smothering the ball in front of DP Domenico as Newport, but DP Domenico won't give it. It's tapped on now towards Johnson. In a bit of trouble out there. There's plenty of him tackling him again. Back to Flower. He's grabbed by 2 of them. Down he goes. Picked up by Jenky. That's good play as he tries to get the ball out to Curran. Finally, it comes back there to Healy. Healy drives the ball back over the half-forward line. It hits the deck again. DP Domenico tries to get through Barney, but he held his ground pretty well. He couldn't get through, and Barney, he's a real terrier, that guy. He won't give in. Umpire letting things go there as he decides to ball it up now.
Players were waiting for free kicks there.
No, I think he might be giving a free kick to Melbourne. It'll be Johnson. I think the umpire indicated he was tripped. Barney has a bit of a go.
He's quite a remarkable player. He's a very good tennis player, and he's only played senior football for 2 years.
Has a win over Boris Becker to his credit. Not many can boast that.
Waiting now on Johnson from about 35 metres out. There's the kick on its way, and that's a good one. It's a goal to Melbourne.
Hawthorn lead by 1 point as Green drives the Hawks forward. I don't know what you think, Don, but the disposal of both teams tonight, to me, leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, Hawthorn's a little bit better than Melbourne at this stage, Peter.
Deer out on centre wing, tries to get it to a teammate. Eade late on the scene. The scrimmage developing again. It will be a bounce at the 15 3/4 minute mark of the term.
Theory's okay kicking the ball high to Moore, but the fact is that Langford's a very good fullback, a great spoiler.
And also it gives time for the other players to get back and assist Langford.
Some ice on the boundary line with Peter Giles as Platten has his kick smothered. Driven up towards Yates again. This is Morris in everything for Hawthorn at half-back, but the hand pass, not a particularly good one, goes backward to Eade. Over to Tuck, the Hawks defending desperately. Tuck fumbles, doesn't often do that. Gives a chance to Flower, the 2 skippers in the thick of things. The hand pass comes out to Viney. He has a shot at goal. Any score will be good for the Demons, but it's only a point, and that levels them. One goal, 2 apiece. Let's go back to Peter Donegan now. We saw Peter Giles. There he is with ice on the ankle. Pete, what's the matter?
Well, apparently he just got a kick on the ankle, Peter, and the doctor is of the opinion that he should be okay once he sits down and relaxes for a few minutes.
16.5 minutes gone. Langford brings the ball back into play.
We'd like Dr. Scott to have a look at him, Pete, after that last diagnosis.
This is Morris for Hawthorn. Good long kick up the half forward. Brereton couldn't quite complete it. Ball scuttled out towards, let's see, it's Kennedy, who gives it to Platten, who's kicked Hawthorn's only goal. He gets clear of Stretch. On it goes to Jenky. Jenky over the top to Big Deer, who moves well for a big guy.
Certainly does.
He'll be looking for Dunstall. Oh, over the top. What a player's dropping marks tonight. Hughes.
Oh, no.
A bad hand pass. Chance for Dunstall. Can he get it to a teammate? Gets grabbed. Drops it. Umpire says play on. And it comes to Connolly. Towards centre field. This is Viney again. He's off, is he?
15-metre penalty.
Now he plays on. This is Batterston.
Like his style, Barney, Pete.
Yes, he's playing well so far. Has a go, doesn't he? That's almost a mark for Healy, or has he paid it? He has. Somebody grabbed one.
A courageous mark by the little fella. It's a pity a lot of big men don't do this. You watch the way this little fella backs into the pack there. And he copped one as he took it. Good, courageous mark.
I think it would have been a free kick anyway. Greg Healy, as we approach the 18-minute mark, has a chance to put Melbourne ahead. Any score will do that. 1 goal, 2 apiece, and so the Demons have the chance of leading at quarter time, which is imminent. That is not a good kick. Melbourne lead by 1 point at the 18-minute mark. 1-3 plays 1 goal, 2 in the National Panasonic Cup.
Well, I think you'll agree, Don, that Melbourne have had plenty of chance in this first quarter.
My word, they have, Lou, and they can only blame themselves.
A couple of players there waiting now for the ball to come back into play. Morris, that was a bit long. Viney's right after him. He won't give in, but Morris shows plenty of pace, gets away from him nicely, but it's a high kick, doesn't travel very far. Oh, there's a good mark. And Yates doing a very good job down there on that forward line.
4 possessions so far.
4 possessions so far. There's the kick by Yates up to the Peter Moore again, but he swamped. Oh, good play by Langford. Not only took the mark, but got one right on top of the head. Oh, it might have been in the mouth. I'll have another go. I think it was in the eye. Very solid defender, this fellow, and
I thought you knew the difference between your mouth and your eye.
well, I didn't. No, I don't. Waiting for the ball to come back now from Langford out to that wing position. Into this quarter, just over the 19-minute mark. Hawthorn trailing by 1 point. Kicked off the ground again. There's a go for Healy. Goes the long kick towards the goal. Looking for more. He's got the chance. He's got it. Got away from Langford that time. And this is their plan, leaving Peter Moore up there and bombard the goals, hoping to God that Peter Moore can grab it. He's grabbed this one.
Well, it wasn't a really good kick, but that's the advantage of playing in front. And it's good to see Peter Moore using his experience, getting in front and not being caught behind.
Well, Melbourne's got a chance now to go further ahead right on the bell. There's the kick by Moore. It's a goal. So just over the 19.5-minute mark, it's Melbourne 2 goals, 3-15 to Hawthorn, 1-2, 8 points. So I suppose we've got about 5 seconds to go. The siren due to go any tick of the clock.
Well, Peter Moore made his name at Collingwood as a full forward earlier in his career. His kicking may have been a little bit haphazard, but that time he lined it up deliberately and banged it straight through for Melbourne's 2nd goal.
Centre bounce and the siren will go.
Well, it should go. 20 minutes have gone.
Certainly have. There it is now. So at quarter time, Melbourne lead in this 2nd quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup. 2 goals, 3-15 to Hawthorn, 1-2-8.
Melbourne lead by 7 points at quarter time after having the majority of play in the opening term. Moore and Johnson, their goal kickers. Moore from a mark, Johnson from a free kick. Platten was the only goal scorer for Hawthorn. 1-2 is against 2-3. And the player that's judged best on the ground tonight will receive the superb prize with the compliments of National Panasonic.
Tonight's player of the match will receive a Technic CD unit from National Panasonic. This programmable compact disc player features 20-step random access programming and 2-speed search with queuing sound. Compliments of Technics from National Panasonic.
And another of the casualties of the first quarter, Chris Langford going up the race, seemed to have a cut underneath the eye. And Peter Donegan, I'm sure, will have some news on that for us shortly as we find out what Don Scotts thought of the first term.
Well, I thought Melbourne tried particularly hard. They went into attack a lot of the time, but just couldn't capitalise when they got the ball up forward. A little bit scrappy. The little fellows weren't getting underneath. They were obviously kicking the ball high to Moore. The ball was being punched away as obviously they thought it would be. Either Moore would mark or it'd be punched by Langford. But the smaller Melbourne players weren't capitalising. They had a couple of opportunities. They can only blame themselves for not being further in front. Hawthorn, on the other hand, give the impression that they're just about to slip into gear. And when they slip into gear, they can completely demoralise the opposition. Very hard to find good players for Hawthorn. Maybe Russell Morris, Chris Mew, Chris Langford at full back. But the talent that they have gotten with only those few players playing well or coming under notice, it won't take long for the other players to slip into gear or lift their game, and then they will become a very, very strong combination. They're a little bit more skilled than what Melbourne are as far as their disposal, the way they move the ball, and Melbourne are just hanging in there at the moment, and they lead by 7 points, and if they can still adopt the tenacity that they showed in the first quarter, they may hang on, but Hawthorn give the impression that they could go on with this game.
Alan Jeans and Brian Coleman having a few words to Gary Ayres. And as the players scatter to take up their position for the start of the second term, let's go down to on the boundary line, Peter Donegan and Jack Edwards.
Thank you, Peter. Well, at quarter time, Alan Jeans spoke very quietly to his players, but there was 1 point of concern for Hawthorn, and that was Chris Langford left the huddle almost straight away, and he has gone up into the dressing room. And he's already got a shiner, and I said to him, what was it? He said, just a finger in the eye, but I seem to think it might be a little bit more serious than that, and we'll check on that very shortly. But Alan Jeans was reasonably quiet with his players at quarter time, despite the fact that they do trail by 7 points. Let's find out what John Northey had to say as we say good evening to Jack Edwards.
Thank you, Peter. Good evening to you too, and all the boys up top and all the viewers. Well, John Northey said, let's keep it going. Let's get the runners out, move the ball out, get it down quickly. He's very happy with the first quarter, as he should be. I think they might have had another goal on the board, really, with a couple of straight kicking. But he's quite happy and thinks he can keep it going, and let's hope he can, for the sake of the viewers at home.
Well, it's a beautiful night for football here, and it's Melbourne by 7 points at quarter time as we go back for the start of the second quarter to Peter Landy.
Right, thanks, Pete, and thank you to Jack Edwards. Second quarter, National Panasonic Cup quarter-final between Melbourne and Hawthorn from VFL Park. The Demons by 7. 2-3 players 1-2 under ideal conditions. Crowd round about the 7,000 or 8,000 mark, one would reckon. Knocked down by Dia. Domenico had a quiet first term. Kicks that one out towards Jenke. Johnson beats him to it. Had the better of the duel in the first quarter. Johnson underneath it, Morris. Good strong mark.
Played well in defence.
Yeah, probably Hawthorn's best player in the opening turn, Lou, wasn't he?
Just about.
His Loveridge out towards the wing position. Domenico gets ridden into the ground in the back, and he'll take the free kick on left centre wing. So 2 possessions so far in the second quarter. Loveridge again, likewise for him statistically, and Brereton holds one. As I said, a lot of players dropped marks in the opening term. Hard to find reasons for that tonight, or excuses. Good mark. Dunstall might get a 15-metre penalty. He has done. So that will bring him about 35 metres out.
You see here in replay, a good kick by Brereton. Put it out in front, and Dunstall could run to that ball with a lot of confidence.
Jason Dunstall, who has one behind to his credit. He hit the post in the first quarter from his only other mark or kick. Directly in front, 35 metres out. Goal umpire hasn't moved. It's a goal. 1 point the difference. The umpire indicating a free kick from the centre circle. And it's going Hawthorn's way, and the recipient is going to be Richard Loveridge as we go down to the Hawthorn rooms and watch the action. Peter Donegan, some news.
Right, Pete, the doctor has just had a look at Chris Langford to make sure there's nothing more serious than a finger in the eye, and Terrigo said that he is satisfied that there's no other problem. The cheekbone's quite okay, and that's good news for the Hawk fans.
Yates and Morris playing a great game, Lou.
Certainly is. Knocked out by Curran. There's a chance now for Hawthorn to get the ball further forward through Melbourne, I should say, through Johnson. The ball finally driven up there towards the half-forward line over the top of the pack. Dean coming in to pick it up now. Baited a couple of opponents. A snap at goal, but Melbourne a rough target, and it's through for 1 point. So it's 1 point to Melbourne, and they move on to 2 goals for 16. Alan Jeans looking pretty serious.
Hawthorn playing the huddle, Lou.
The huddle, are they?
That's called the huddle.
Okay, that's a beauty. The huddle's on show now at the moment as it goes out there towards Abbott. Oh, nearly a mark that time to Moore, but the umpire said play on. Picked up by Jenke, drives the ball wide, looking out there for Brereton, but he's well covered by Spalding. Spalding and Brereton go after it. Spalding knocks it on. Good play by Spalding. There's a chance now for Johnson to pick it up. He's grabbed. Umpire still calling play. He was playing for a free kick, then a hand pass from Kennedy out the flat. There's Brereton on his own. Spalding going up there to follow the play and left Brereton there on his own to take the mark at half forward. So Brereton with the ball now about 50 metres out. He's gone for a pass. It's a good one and marked by Curran. It was a good pass, but it was equally as good a mark too. So we see Curran only about 30 metres out from goal. I think this might be his first second touch for the night so far. But this fella can win a game in about 10 minutes off his own boot. There's the kick on its way. And that's a good one. It's another goal. So Hawthorn now move on to 3 goals, 2-20. To Melbourne, 2 goals, 4-16.
Well, Peter Curran there on screen, recruited from Canterbury. Took a little while to get into the Hawthorn side, but is well set up by Brereton. The Hawthorn players, all of them, can kick the ball very, very accurately in position, and a hole left by Melbourne, and Curran was able to lead into that hole, got the ball from Brereton, a good pass, a good mark, and Hawthorn's 3rd goal is registered.
Hawthorn 4 points in front. We're just over the 4.5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Ball picked up and driven down towards Melbourne's half-forward line now. Chance for Flower on the run. Can he put this one through? It looks pretty good from here. He has done. A very speedy reply from the Demon veteran. That's his first goal. 3-4 to 3-2. Robbie Flower at his best.
That was a remarkable piece of play, and maybe if we can get it on replay. The players seemed to part. We'll see here on replay, the players seemed to part, and the ball went straight through the middle of them. Flower kept going through the middle. No opposition from the Hawthorn players, and a good goal. Melbourne's 3rd.
Flower, Johnson and Moore, the goal kickers for Melbourne, and for Hawthorn, Dunstall, Curran and John Platten. 22 plays 20 in the National Panasonic Cup. It's a scramble at centre field. Loose ball comes out towards the edge of the square, and a chance for Wilson to drive Melbourne forward, which he does over the 50-metre line. Out comes Abbott, and a safe mark by Deere, who should get a 15-metre penalty. Holding the ball.
No, he was right, the umpire.
Did he not go back behind the mark?
No, he ran over his mark. He didn't run in a direct line.
Well, if you haven't gone over the mark,
doesn't matter. You've got to run in a direct line, Pete. Once you go to the side, you're over the mark.
I thought he ran back, Lou. Anyway, it's out of bounds in Melbourne's forward pocket. A boundary throw in about 10 metres from the behind post. O'Dwyer, the redhead. Line ball, that one. Knocked down to Mew. Kicker's only short. Ayres to Loveridge.
Good.
Yates. And they collected him. Morris.
Oh.
Was collected by Healy.
At least he stopped him.
He was running in a straight line. Morris, one of Hawthorn's best so far, knocked away from Tuck. And it comes to Mew now from Jenke. Mew at half back. As for the hand pass, picked up by the same player again, Jenke. Up to half forward. The green boots of Burden. Shocking hand pass to Spalding. Spalding over the top. 2 Melbourne players collide. Conley had his eye on the ball. It was left for Wilson to Johnson, who gets collected by Eade. Back it goes to Ayres. His kick is a high one. Barely travels the required number of metres for a mark. Picked up by Lovett at centre field. Lovett's kick out to Healy. Morris hot on his hammer. Out it comes to Peter Moore. Well out from goal. Moore on left centre wing. To Johnson, playing well.
Good kick by Moore.
Curran on the mark. Johnson left half forward flank. One of Melbourne's best so far. Not a well-directed kick. O'Dwyer has to punch the ball away from his Hawthorn opponent Abbott. That could very well be in the back. It's going Hawthorn's way. Picked up by Lester Smith. Short pass. Gary Ayres in the 50-metre defence line gets Hawthorn out of trouble.
And he's putted it around there to Morris, but it's out of bounds on the full. It'll be a penalty free kick out there to Johnson. Be about 70 metres out from the goal. 2 points the difference into this second quarter by just on 8 minutes. Ball drops short. Line fell as he went to mark. That kicked off the ground that time by Mew. Out towards the wing position, going after this. Tucky got one on the back, but the umpire didn't worry about that. So it's out of bounds on that centre wing position. A little bit down towards the Hawthorn half forward line. 22 plays 20 in favour of Melbourne. So Melbourne doing pretty well so far in this game.
Moore having a stint in the ruck.
Moore knocks the ball down. Picked up by Deere. DiPierdomenico misread the bounce of the ball, then it's out of bounds. Out of bounds on the centre wing position. Melbourne 3-4-22 to Hawthorn 3-2-20. 8.5 minutes gone. Peter Moore and Deere knocked out by Deere. Ball is pushed out. Now is a chance for Russell Green to give a hand pass out to Loveridge. The little fella shows a lot of pace. 50 metres out, fires at the goals. It's not a bad sort of a kick. It's a goal. What a magnificent goal. Just on the 9.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Melbourne looking good so far. 3 goals, 4-22 to Hawthorn, 4-26.
Knocked down by a Dwyer. Actually, it's been a pretty good game so far. Healy takes it at half forward for Melbourne. Lester Smith punches the ball clear of the packets over the boundary line. Throw in left forward pocket for Melbourne. Approaching the 10-minute mark of the term, so halfway through the second quarter.
Abbott, a very handy player, Peter, to have on the interchange. He's played well since he's come on.
Certainly has. Moore with Abbott. Moore won that one, picked up by Lester Smith. Up to the 50-metre line. Batterston gets around Rodney Eade. High flyers needed here, knocked away by Chris Mew. Ayres. Kick smothered by Lyon. It's out of bounds, and this time about 5 metres from the behind post. Still quite oppressive conditions here at the park.
Still Melbourne looking fairly good at the moment, even though Hawthorn in front, Don.
My word, they are, Lou. They're trying hard.
Knocked down by Abbott. Mew. Short kick. Chance for Melbourne through Bailey. Left foot snapshot will go pretty close. Is it touched? It is. Hits the behind post, and so that means it's out of bounds. And it will be a throw-in right next to the behind post in Melbourne's right forward pocket. So Melbourne again doing a lot of the attacking as they did in the opening term. Well, there's a wrestle. Moore goes down off the hands of Abbott. Ayres dives on top of his opponent, and the umpire has decided it will be a bounce. Still only about 10 metres from goal. Melbourne throwing everything at the Hawks so far. And they trailed by only 4 points. They led at quarter time by 7 points, knocked away by Peter Moore. Abbott tries to knock it further afield, and again a stalemate develops. It's going to be another bounce. A little bit further out from goal. Still well within kicking distance. Abbott and Moore. Chance for Dean. Left foot snapshot is pretty good. It's close. The goal umpire indicating full points. So Melbourne lead by 2. 11.5 minutes into the second quarter. 4-4 to 4-2 at VFL Park.
Well, on the scoreboard, this is a very good game. A good hit out there by Peter Moore. We'll see the replay here. Moore hits it over the top, and Dean threads his way through the pack there. Didn't look for goal, blazed away. Luck's a fortune.
He impressed the last match we watched him play. In
Played
this
very
series.
well in the last quarter, Lou.
Flower, Johnson, Dean and Moore, the goal kickers for the Demons so far. And for Hawthorn, it's Dunstall, Loveridge, Curran and Platten. 2 points the difference in favour of Melbourne.
Oh, this is Browden breaking clear from the centre of the ground. Drives it long, looking up there for Dunstall. He's in front. The ball knocked out by Hughes. Shows a lot of courage then, but he was put off balance by DP Domenico, and the ball is out of bounds. But it's a good distance out from the Hawthorn goal. It's on their half-forward line, about 80 metres out from goal. They're in front by 2 points, Melbourne. Doing a darn good job against last year's premiers of the night series as well as the day matches. Knocked out by Tuck. Pushed on again by Kennedy. Down towards Loveridge. Going after Loveridge now. Coming out to meet him as Hughes, and the ball is out of bounds. Inside the 50-metre defence line. It's about 40 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. And they're trailing by 2 points. It'll be O'Dwyer to go for this knockout against Deere. I thought Deere got one on the back that time. Newport falls on top of the ball. He was grabbed. He was pushed in the back, the umpire said. Against Ayres. Hand pass coming over to Wilson. Looking for a lead. Got one from Flower. Oh, he outmaneuvered his opponent that time. Anticipated the ball beautifully. Drives it back to the half-forward line. There's a chance now for the ball to be pushed back. We see Batterson grabbing, goes Platten. He's lost balance or lost the ball. They're diving after it now. That's DP Domenico on the bottom, and can't he go after a ball? Rodney Eade trying to juggle it on the ground, and it's out of bounds. Falling over like 9 pins. They were really crawling on the ground to get the ball. Then it was desperation. So it'll be a throw-in from that centre wing position. Dwyer and Deere to go for it. Back it goes to Healy. A hurried kick back towards that half-forward line. Smothered by Swab, but it's picked up beautifully by Dean. A hand pass over to Robert Flower. This could be a goal. And the chance balked beautifully. Goes for a long hand pass. There's a big chance for Yates. He ducks that. He's lost that.
Good play there by Abbott.
Good play. And, of course, I thought Robert Flower could have had a shot. And that was unselfish play on the part of Robert Flower. But it could have been costly. A ball up about 20 metres out from the Melbourne goal. They're in front by 2 points. They're really putting pressure on Hawthorn tonight. But back to Dean again. The snap and goal. This could be all right. It's another one.
The second.
Well, even though Hawthorn hit the front about 5 minutes ago, I still felt that Melbourne were playing better, and it's proving right at the moment. 5 goals, 4-34 to Hawthorn, 4-2-26.
They are playing much better. Dean has kicked the last 2 goals. Viney goes in. So too does O'Dwyer. It's left the Dippy to Medico to try to get clear of Viney. Great tackle. Loose ball comes out to Loveridge. Attempted smothered by Newport, not successful. Great mark, Dunstall.
Very deceptive, Dunstall. He doesn't look all that quick, but he certainly gets in front of his opponent and leads him to the ball.
Loveridge, probably one of Hawthorn's best so far. They've got a few quiet guys tonight, though. Melbourne's defence backing up well. This is Connolly. Underneath it, Jenke. Hawthorn trailed by 8 points. Kennedy can't take it. Deere tries to crash through, ultimately gets the kick in. Curran off his hands. Lyon defends well for Melbourne to Connolly. And the mark taken down there by Danny Hughes. Hughes at left half-back flank, a fair way from goal. Goes for a short pass. Lyon takes the mark and or free kick, call it what you will. He's going to get the book out. So Lyon right on the boundary line, short of centre wing. One for a hand pass, picked up by Little Lovett. In front is Chris Mew, who takes a timely and steadying mark for the Hawks. A little bit rattled out there at the moment, the brown and golds. 2 up. Doesn't go the right way for Russell Green. The hand pass comes out from Bailey. And it comes towards Yates. A chance for Newport now half forward. Newport goes long. Now here he is again. This is a chance for his 3rd goal now, Dean. He's kicked the last 2.
Getting on top of Morris now. Morris had him well beaten in that first quarter and a bit, but now he's coming into his own.
The last 2 were snapshots. Let's see what he can do this time.
Good play also by Lovett. He was the player who got them going on the half-back flank with an attacking punch from behind.
Only 30 metres out. I think he might have missed that, has he? Yes, he has. So bad luck for Melbourne. Could have been a hat-trick to him. 5-5 to 4-2. The Demons still have their measure, though. 9 points the difference, 17 minutes into the term. As we wait the ball to come back into play. Out to Deere. Deere at right half-back, misses it. Gives the chance to O'Dwyer. Picked up by Morris now, who gets cleared, drives Hawthorn up towards centre field. Brereton spread eagles a pack of players. Opportunity for Kennedy, who's been fairly quiet tonight. Not a good hand pass, and it's picked up by Todd Viney.
Well played by Viney. Yeah, Melbourne's still looking good as the ball goes out to DP. And Domenico is in a bit of trouble here as Line grabbed him beautifully. A great tackle, and the ball is out of bounds. DP and Domenico looking to the umpire for a free kick, but not having a bar of it. Out of bounds up towards the Melbourne half-forward line. They're 9 points in front. O'Dwyer, I should say, and Deere going for the knockout. Back it comes to Loveridge, a hurried kick, and Kennedy's got the mark. He quickly plays on foolishly. Oh, there's a free kick, I would say, to Johnson, but the umpire still is saying a free kick for holding the ball. I thought he got it in the back. Free kick to go to Tuck out there on the centre wing position. 9 points the difference. Ayres has got it at half forward. About 65 metres out from goal. Looking there for Dunstall. Flies high. Got his hands, but couldn't hold the mark. Ball thrown away by Bailey. Connolly gets the ball back. Ayres is grabbed. Back it goes to Connolly again. Wilson, I should say. And there's a good mark to O'Dwyer. At centre half back. He doesn't know where to go now. He's right, the big fellow, as he gets it out wide. I suppose that's natural at St Patrick's Day today as the ball is driven up by Johnson. Looking for Newport. Out comes Moore and shows a lot of dash, but he's grabbed. He gets a hand pass back to Johnson again. He's got no trouble getting around the pack. He's gone for a pass, but Yates couldn't hold it. Backing up well as Loveridge out there at half back. Drops the ball short, and a good mark taken here this time by Bailey. Not doing a bad job tonight either, Bailey. Doing all the rugged work. Short one. And the ball is marked by Line down towards the centre half forward position for Melbourne. Just over the 19-minute mark of this second quarter, and Melbourne still in front by 9 points. That's a good kick. It's a long kick. Look at it go. We're looking for Robert Flower. He's got the mark. Outmaneuvered Swab completely, but what a kick it was by Line. That was a magnificent kick.
It was a magnificent kick. You said it, Lou, but I was a little surprised the umpire didn't pick this push.
Little push in the back
Flower here,
little push.
using
Watch
the
this.
left hand, and Yeah. Do you think he pushed him or not?
Just enough to give himself balance. There's the kick coming up now. And that'll be another goal. And we're just on the 20-minute mark, and Melbourne looking good up to half-time. 6 goals, 5-41 to Hawthorn. Now in trouble, 4 goals, 2-26.
Well, they are looking good, Melbourne, and Flower has really come alight the last 2 games, and it's good to see him. He's obviously injury-free at the moment. He just may have lost the little sparkle that he has as a youngster, but he's got a lot of nous, and he's a very wily customer.
Well, the siren due to go because we're over the 20-minute mark, and as soon as they bounce the ball, the siren will go. There's the siren to end the second quarter of the National Panasonic Cup, the second quarter final. We see Melbourne in a pretty handy position. 6 goals, 5-41 to Hawthorn, 4-2-26. And that was a pretty good performance by Melbourne, even though Hawthorn got in front there by 4 points, I think, at one stage. But it didn't last long, Pete, because Melbourne, to me, looked as though they were playing better even at that stage of the match.
They look as though they want the ball a bit more.
Well, they're playing desperate football, and it's a bit unfortunate for Hawthorn. They haven't got many good players. They've got a player up there at full forward. Whenever the ball's delivered to him properly, he's doing okay. That's Dunstall. But when you look through their lineup, they're struggling. On the other hand, you can look through Melbourne's lineup, and everyone's having a bit of a go, and they're looking a pretty formidable side so far. But we know the fighting qualities of Hawthorn, because they're a side that plays the same style right throughout the match, with their 5 goals behind, 5 goals in front, and they keep on trying to wear their opponents down, and we're expecting that in this very vital third quarter.
6-5-41 to 4-2-26. Hawthorn scored 3 goals in that quarter. They were outscored for the second term in succession by the Demons. Melbourne added 4-2. Melbourne by 15 points at half-time. Well, at the moment it's shaping up as a boil-over, with last year's premiers in a little bit of trouble at half-time, down 15 points to Melbourne. The goal kickers for the Demons, 2 to Dean, 2 to Flower, 1 to Johnson and 1 to Moore. And for Hawthorn, singles to Dunstall, Loveridge, probably their best player, Curran, and also John Platten. Next Saturday we have the third quarter final in the second round. It's between the West Coast Eagles and the lucky loser from the first round. That was for Troy. And on the following Tuesday week, that's Tuesday week, 2 weeks from this evening, Essendon and the Sydney Swans. So that will complete the quarter-final lineup in the National Panasonic Cup for 1987. It means it's time now for Palmer's Punchlines, as we say a very good evening to the Sunday Press sporting editor, Scotty Palmer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Punchlines. From rugby packs like this one, the Swans have uncovered a player who could be throwing tackles on unsuspecting league players this year. He's Leo Efifama, who played first-grade rugby league with Western Suburbs last year and has played in eye-catching style in the last 2 practice matches in Sydney. The Swans have kept him under wraps until now. They're heavily into rugby and have taken lessons again this year from some big scrummers, but Leo is the first to switch codes. Tomorrow is departure day for many VFL hopefuls, about 100 of them. Some fairly well-known faces will be told to move on. I understand the Brisbane Bears will tell several of their Melbourne contingent to ship out. What a tough trip home to come back to Victoria. Hawthorn claim rumours that ruckman Michael Byrne could be let loose are totally hearsay. At Carlton, my whisper is that Spiro Korkamielis' position at the club will be examined tonight. The Blues, I'm told, might have trouble fitting Spiro in for a regular game. Those 2 senior players with the Swans who are prepared to take a pay cut to get the team under its salary cap won't have to give up much. After all, I believe the Swans saved up to $460,000 by dropping 6 players, including Morwood, Edmund and Danaher, before Christmas. Richmond play their last practice match against co-tenants Melbourne at the MCG on Saturday, and it'll be a flip of the coin who leads the Tigers out. The club still can't decide between Mark Lee and Dale Waitman. My tip, Lee by a whisker. Melbourne and St Kilda have come to terms over Darren Lutet and won't go to appeal, but the Saints still can't pin down Peter Kenny. The Brisbane Bears may decline an offer to talk to Hawthorn over Michael McCarthy and take the case to appeal. They figure that $80,000 for a player who figured in only 6 senior games last year is a bit rich. By the way, the Bears named their captain on Saturday night. It won't be Brett Hardy now, and it could fall to Mark Williams from the Adelaide ruckman Mark Mickham. The speculators could be right too about Damien Burke at Geelong now that Mark Yates is out. Buse could be vice and either Bright or Bairstow deputy vice. Warwick Kappa fans can join in the hunt to help find his favourite number plate from the Flash Turbo car. It was stolen while he was at training. There's no chance you'll miss it. It reads S-E-X-Y, sexy. Frankly, in this photo, I'd say here's some top opposition from a well-known bloke that I know. See you again, people. Keep punching.
I saw that number plate on your car tonight. Is that true?
Not mine, it's a Don Scott.
Must be Don Scott.
Well, after tonight, Don diagnosing that bloke from up here from 90 metres away was a fantastic effort, wasn't
Pretty
it?
good, isn't it?
My word. What was it, a stress fracture of the ankle, wasn't it?
Yes, I would have left him on, Lou.
You would have kept
Marvellous,
playing.
Don. Well, I get sick, I mustn't go and see you.
15 points the difference, 41 to 26. So things perhaps a little quiet in the Hawthorn rooms at the moment. Jack Edwards, is that the case?
Yes, Peter, a little bit quiet down here. I did say, if you remember in the first round, I noticed there that Dermy Brereton too is wearing a very high strapping on his left thigh, as you can see. So the green boots haven't done him much good this evening. Must just be a corky, I imagine. But there's a little bit quiet down here. There's not too much going on. Alan Jones hasn't taken the boys into the rooms as yet. I think once they go into the rooms with Alan Jones, it'll be a little bit noisier than what it is at present. But tonight you don't get the same feeling that I mentioned in the first round when I said you could just about feel the confidence in the air. I still don't believe that Hawthorn are beaten, don't think for a minute that they are, because if you remember in that first round when North Melbourne got 14 points in front of Hawthorn, that's when they made their mistake. They got in front in the third quarter and then Hawthorn took it right away from them. I think you'll see a different Hawthorn team after half-time, but they'll have to do something because Melbourne is playing well and it's a great game of football, and let's hope we all enjoy it until right to the very end of it. Thanks. Back to you, Pete.
Well, thanks, Jack. I'm sure Melbourne supporters enjoying it at the moment. Difference of 15 points at the main change. We'll take a break and we'll be back here in just a few moments. Welcome back to VFL Park. I'll change tongues, Don, and allow you to give us a half-time summary.
Well, I expected Hawthorn to take over in the second quarter, but maybe I'll have to wait till the third because Melbourne have really done well in this first half of football. They've been very aggressive in their approach to the ball. They got it out well in the centre there and kicked a number of goals. Here's Platten, who got Hawthorn going. A very good player, young John Platten, but that's about the only thing he's really done all night. It's very hard to find good Hawthorn players, and this is the second quarter. We saw Moore getting it out of the centre, and Flower coming through, threads his way through. Nobody intercepted the ball, and Flower went on and banged the first of his goals through. He's played well on the half-forward flank, Flower, and using a lot of experience. And this is a good hit on in the direction of goal, and finally finishes up with Loveridge. Now, Loveridge is not a spectacular player, but he certainly does pick up a lot of possessions, and either by foot or by hand, he gets the ball going towards their direction of goal and picks it up and works very well up the ground. Doesn't do much work down forward, but certainly up around the centre wing does well. This is where I couldn't understand why Hawthorn didn't drop Deer back into the ruck play, because Moore contested two of those ruck ball-ups in the forward line, and both went over to Dean, and Dean kicked from, and this is the second one, and Dean from Moore to Dean. And at least if Deer was down there, more people around the face of goal, and it would have made it very hard to score. Stats, 78 kicks Melbourne, 64 Hawthorn marks in favour of Hawthorn, 20 to 19. Free kicks fairly even. Handballs 23-27. Hit-outs 11-19, Hawthorn's favour, and shots at goal 13 for Melbourne and 6 Hawthorn.
Yes, double the shots at goal for Melbourne. One would expect them to be in a pretty happy position at half-time, but Peter Donegan can't tell us. Pete, I think you've been barred from the rooms already.
Well, that's not strictly true, Pete. I was in there when John Northey was talking, but John didn't want the cameras in there while he was talking to his players, and what he did was just spoke to them around the locker area, and now he's taken them back in behind closed doors to have a quiet chat to them. But what I did hear him say was that the fact that they are in front at half-time doesn't make any difference. They've got to come out now. They concentrated very well in the first half, but they have to keep concentrating. Otherwise, the first half effort totally goes to waste. And he wants the players to particularly be aware of the man that they're on. He said man on man, and don't forget it for the last half. And that's the way we can win this game. And tonight, well, it's an absolutely perfect night for football. There's no breeze to speak of. The ground is in magnificent condition. And even though there's an air of quiet confidence, Pete, in the Melbourne rooms, they're certainly not getting too cocky at the moment, because they know that in Hawthorn they've got a side really to get over. Let's see if they can do it in the second half.
Well, Pete, thanks very much. It's been a top game so far. In fact, the last two games out here at VFL Park in the quarterfinals have really been of a top standard. Let's go down to the 7 National newsroom for the latest on...
At
VFL Park. We just saw something unusual as Melbourne came back onto the ground. They ran through a banner, which apparently they forgot to put up at the start of the game, or in fact before it, and they're now rolling it up here at half-time. 41 players, 26. And with Don Scott, let's check some of the stats on individual players so far in the game.
Well, we see there Flower 5 kicks, one mark where we considered a little doubtful. We thought he pushed his man in the back, but he took it. The umpire paid and he kicked his goal and has played quite well up on the forward line. Brett Bailey, a rugged individual, may lack a little bit of speed, but you couldn't question the way he goes after the ball. And he's picked up 7 kicks, and he certainly gets in under the packs and is doing particularly well tonight. Alan Johnson, well, I think he's a speedy customer on the wing. Roams deep into the forward line and he's forced Hawthorn to make a change. They had Jenke on him, and he's just a little bit too quick for Jenke. Chris Mew, an old-fashioned full-back, stays at home, but I saw him earlier in the game run deep into the forward line, which he doesn't do, but he does pick up a lot of kicks, reads the ball well on that half-back line. Russell Morris playing exceptionally well on that half-back flank. We see there 7 kicks, 5 marks and 3 handballs, and combines very well with Mew, and it's a solid line, that half-back line of Hawthorn. Loveridge, a prolific kick-getter, had an unusual pre-season after the Tokyo game. He went off to England, toured Europe, and just came back in time for pre-season, but it obviously didn't affect his fitness because he's picked up 10 kicks, 3 handballs.
Now on the bench we've got, it looks like Michael Tuck, Bertie and Rod Lester-Smith. So there's a bit of experience down there,
I'll say.
They're a flippancy too.
Yeah, so perhaps that's not a good thing, Don, when you're behind by 15 points.
And particularly the way that Melbourne are playing,
yeah.
They've put up a very determined show tonight, and they've looked good. It's the vital quarter. We say this every time we do a match, but the third quarter always the vital one, particularly on a side like Melbourne.
Well, if they can get a few goals ahead here, it's going to be hard for Hawthorn, isn't it?
If they get a couple of quick ones, Hawthorn will be in trouble. We know the fighting qualities of Hawthorn. You can never write them off. As I said during the commentary, Don and Pete, that it doesn't matter what position the game is. Hawthorn still play the same style of football. They never seem to lose concentration.
A very offensive team, Lou.
Number 43 there we saw for the first time in the match is Dixon, playing his first senior game. He comes from down Gippsland way.
Played a couple of games. He's 23, Peter, from Morwell, and he's a rover. But just reflecting on Tuck and Domenico on the bench. Tuck's only had 3 kicks, and Domenico 2 possessions for the game so far.
It's very
well, let's say they deserve to be on the bench, don't they? On their form so far.
A little underdone, perhaps, both of those gentlemen.
Lester-Smith, I think, has had a few more touch. I thought he was doing reasonably well. And then again, you don't know why the coach takes them off. Dunstall's one of the most underestimated players, or underrated players. Don, he doesn't look as though he's moving well, but by golly, he can take a firm mark, can't he?
And he looks a little bit like Kelvin Matthews.
Okay, so we're just about set for the third quarter now. Melbourne lead by 15 points in the third term, about to begin at league headquarters. 49ers O'Dwyer for Melbourne, contesting with Deere. It's won by O'Dwyer. Mew puts Hawthorn into attack, and to see Todd Viney take the mark. Chain of hand passes. It comes out to Connolly. Connolly's kick up towards the left centre wing. Now it goes to Stretch from Wilson. Golden opportunity missed out there for the Demons as the ball is hustled over the boundary line by Abbott for Hawthorn, and it will be a boundary throw-in. The 3 is Lyon, son of a former Hawthorn player, Peter Lyon, who took over the centre spot at Glenferrie when it was vacated by Brendan Edwards. Attempting to kick it off the ground was Russo. Finally left to Gary Ayres to fire out a hand pass in the direction of that player. Hawthorn looking a little slow at the moment. Melbourne's tackling is good. Batterston picks it up, just about threw it out actually. Now it's left to Loveridge for kick number 11. Be very close to the boundary line. Kennedy, we haven't seen too much of him tonight, and he doesn't handle that run with aplomb.
Just the same, he's had plenty of mates, Pete.
Yes, he has.
He's had 3 hand passes in the night, Kennedy.
It's going to Johnson, who would probably, without looking at the stats, be Melbourne's leading kick getter. Played well on his wing. And off the hands of the pack. Forced through for 1 behind to the Demons. It makes the difference 16 points. 6-6 to 4-2 at VFL Park in the National Panasonic Cup.
The huddle again at centre half back. All the Hawthorn players grouping, and then they'll break.
Does that mean you call them groupies, Don? Langford out wide, looking for Morris, who did make the break, tries to get
That's
clear
a
of
free
Yates.
kick.
He was grabbed, we're not in possession, and he'll take the free kick at left half-back flank. Kick number 8 for Russell Morris. Morris inboard towards the circle. At the back was Viney, couldn't take the mark. Picked up by Chris Connolly. Connolly out towards centre wing, and a safe mark again taken for the Demons by Wilson. Lovely ball. To half forward again. This time Schwab is in the road.
Good defensive play on the part of Schwab. Hand pass coming over now to Abbott. Drives it wide, looking there for Ayres. He's got the mark over the top of Connolly. Back it goes now. This is a chance for Dixon to get a long hand pass over to Platt. He played that well, juggled it beautifully on the ground out there on the centre wing position. Hooks the ball back. Well intercepted from Dixon by Johnson that time, and forced out of bounds. He's played very well tonight. Alan Jeans wouldn't be too happy with the Hawks tonight. They've struggled right from the word go, even though they did hit the front in that second quarter. Over it goes to Loveridge, possibly their best player. Kick drops short, and the mark taken here by Lovett. Lovett for Melbourne on the half-back line. Melbourne in front by 16 points and doing okay so far, but a long way to go. Loveridge again. Clears the ball away from that wing position, looking there for Brereton. He's got it the second grab. He's not going to play it after he juggles. He goes after it again. Good play by Brereton. He's still got it. He gets it over to Loveridge again. To Platten in plenty of trouble now. They're going to grab him and throw him on the ground, which they do. Loveridge again. He's got the ball on a string. Over it goes to Green. Green hooks it back towards the full forward position. There's a chance now, but that's well covered by Hughes. And Melbourne get it away from the danger zone there and shoot the ball to the boundary line, right on the 50-metre defence line.
There were 3 Hawthorn players in one Melbourne. It bounced in the direction of Danny Hughes, otherwise it would have been a certain goal.
Approaching the 4-minute mark of this third quarter, Melbourne still in front by 16 points. A chance for Hawthorn to score now as Deere gets it down. Going through was Spalding, couldn't get out. Platten goes for a hand pass to Deere, and the big fella has a pot shot at the goal. A desperate effort by Dunstall that time, but couldn't grab it, and the ball is out through for 1 point. So the difference 15 points. 6 goals, 6:42 Melbourne to Hawthorn, 4 goals, 3:27. We wait now for the ball to come back into play.
Through Danny Hughes out wide, looking for O'Dwyer, knocked away by Ayres. It's out of bounds. Is it? No. Ayres tries to keep it in play, scooped out to Loveridge. Easily Hawthorn's best player and probably best on the ground. Tossed over the head of O'Dwyer. And a chance for Greg Healy. And the mark taken by Lyon. Should have been taken by Lyon, but he spilt it. It's out of bounds. He looks disgusted. 4.5 minutes into the third quarter as Lester Smith prepares to come back onto the ground. O'Dwyer and Deere. So I think Wilson got that one down. Eade close to the boundary line, tries to centre the ball. Platten's there for Hawthorn. Bounces better for Viney. Mew, bump ball, no mark. Bailey in front of Ayres. Shoots out the hand pass to Healy. Intercepting is O'Dwyer. Knocks the ball further forward. And picked up by Newport. Russo. Eade. Tries to get around O'Dwyer. Does so. Short pass, and Green takes the mark. And again, it's Loveridge. He's had about half a dozen possessions so far already. Dixon gives the hand pass over to Jenke. Jenke has a shot at goal. They work hard for that one, and he's put it through. Brereton off the ground has been replaced by Lester Smith, who has gone to the forward line. I think he's played there before on a few occasions.
I think he came over. He was a forward too, Peter, from Western Australia.
Most of his football here, though, has been on the half-back flank for Hawthorn. Wilson gives the hand pass to Batterston. Here's a chance for the Demons again to get a quick reply. At the 50-metre line, he's given it to Lyon. Lyon steadies and shoots, and he's put it through. A very quick reply to Melbourne. Lyon's first goal, and the Demons looking the goods tonight in the National Panasonic. The scoreboard shows 7-6 to 5-3.
Well, what an excellent piece of play. Real skill the way they went into that forward line, and that's the first time they've gone into the forward line with any decision. I thought they could have mucked it up there. Batterson gave it across to Lyon. I thought Batterson could have got his kick in, but he was in a better position, saw Lyon by himself, and it was good play by Melbourne.
Well, and the score now 15 points, the difference in favour of Melbourne as we approach the 7-minute mark, and the Demons still looking okay. O'Dwyer. Well, Deere got that one down. A quick kick by Ayres. Juggle that time by by Platten over to Curran. Curran gets the ball back to Dixon. Back it goes now to Russo. A long shot at goal. This could be all right. What was he pushed in the back?
Yes,
I think he was. It'll be against Hughes. It'll go there to Dunstall. And Dunstall's already kicked one goal.
And hit the post on another occasion.
So Hawthorn fighting back again. That was the desperate Hughes there. Watch that again.
Well, he's a deceptive player, Dunstall. Obviously very, very strong. And once he puts his body in front, he's very hard to dislodge.
There's the kick. And that's a goal. So the difference 9 points a game. That's Dunstall's second goal. 7 goals, 6:48 Melbourne to Hawthorn 6:3:39. We've said this many times, this third quarter's a vital one, particularly for sides like Melbourne that are lower down on the list playing against the top sides.
It's also important, as we've just seen, both Melbourne and Hawthorn, if you get it out of the centre and move it quickly, you usually score a goal.
Approaching the 8-minute mark. 9 points the difference in favour of the Demons. The winner of this match goes into the semi-final. O'Dwyer and Deere. Deere again. We see the ball forced back there towards Jenke, punched away by Johnson. Healy's upended, tries to get the ball to fail. He kicks it off the ground, but backing up well. That time was kicked, a better kick by Wilson. Ball forced down. There's a chance for Langford to pick it up, but he's in plenty of trouble. There's plenty of Melbourne players there. Going after it again is Johnson like a real terrier. Actually, Langford got it over to Mew. That was a bit of a sleight of hand job as the ball goes out there towards that wing position. Barney got the heavy one from Curran. Umpire spotted it right on the point of the chin. So Barney doing a very good job here tonight in his first game with the Demons. The first time we've seen him play with them in these in a senior game. Langford goes the punch. Kicked off the ground by accident by Line. Back to Platten. Got one on the back. The umpire said no. Picked up by Conley. Back Melbourne going to attack up towards their 50-metre line. But there's a good mark taken in defence there this time again by Melbourne. And it's Jenke.
Ray Jenke from the right half-back flank. Looks for Curran on centre wing. Couldn't take it. Batterston. Short pass. Looks good to half forward. And Healy has to put it high. Tries to find Moore down there. He was caught out of position. Morris scoops the ball further forward. Out it comes to Ayres from Eade. Green. Schwab. Well shepherded. Gets around O'Dwyer. On the run at centre field. Goes long. Straight down the ground. Dunstall and Hughes. Dunstall. Good pair of hands, this fellow. Gets a 15-metre penalty as well, his second for the night, which will bring him almost to the 50-metre line. Still a long way from goal. He's kicked 2, one from a mark, one from a free, a short time back. That's an excellent kick distance-wise. Curran's there, couldn't take it, it's through from behind. National Panasonic scoreboard at VFL Park shows the difference is 8 points in favour of the Demons. 10 minutes gone in the third quarter. And all the way stretch. He's a left half back. To centre field. Underneath it, Greg Healy. Over the head of Green for Hawthorn. Green has a look over the shoulder. Mew does the shepherding, but there are plenty of Melbourne jerseys in there at the moment. Ball finally scooped out from Healy. Johnson having a million kicks tonight. That one not well directed. Out comes Moore. He'll give the hand pass over to this fellow Dean. He's already kicked 2. And that's his third goal from a snapshot. Melbourne so far have the answers. A very quick reply again. That was Dean's third. 14 points at it in favour of the Demons. They swing into attack again. A chance for Viney. Long kick from the edge of the square. Up the Moor. It's a real wrestle down there. And the ball will be taken through for a behind. A point from Peter Schwab. He actually kicked it. 8-7 to 6-4. I'll change tongues again, Lou. It's your turn.
OK, waiting for the ball to come back into play. 55 plays 40 in favour of Melbourne. 15 points the difference if we go on to the 12-minute mark. Back it comes now to Dixon, over to Green, back to Platten. And Hawthorn have got it on that half-back flank. Platten to the wing position, looking for somebody to give the ball to. It drops short. And there's a good mark in defence taken by Spalding. He's round about the centre half-back area. Just now the umpire calling him back.
Why did he do that?
Don't ask me. He's the umpire. Ball shot out now towards the wing position. And it's out of bounds. So it's out of bounds on the centre wing position with Hawthorn struggling. 6 goals, 440 to Melbourne, 8-7-55 as we approach the 12.5-minute mark of this third quarter, the second quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup. Back it goes to Wilson. Was that one in the back? The umpire said no. Ayres gets it out again. The ball pushed on again by Dixon. Goes after it. A hand pass comes back. Stretch goes without the ball. Picked up by Loveridge. Now there's a good mark in defence. Taken again by Spalding. A quick hand pass over to Lovett. Lovett looks for Johnson, who's been a star player tonight. He's too quick there for Ayres. Not Ayres, Eade, I should say. Eade gets clear. But as we see Johnson too fast again, drops the ball short. A good mark taken there by Newport. He doesn't hesitate while all the Hawthorn players stood flat-footed. Goes for a long kick looking for Peter Moore on Langford. Moore's got it. Outmanoeuvred him, even though he put a lot of hard work on him then, Langford, but Moore was too strong and too big.
And that's years of ruck experience there. Moore used his body well here on Abbott. A beautiful kick from Newport, long and high, right off that wing. You see there Moore just edging Abbott out, using strength.
I apologise, I thought it was Langford. It's Abbott. Waiting now for Moore to have a go at the goals, going for goal number 2. There she is on the way. I don't know what the big fella's done with that. I think he's put it through for a point. At the chance of a lifetime then. 8 goals, 8.56 Melbourne to Hawthorn, 6 goals, 4.40 as we approach the 14-minute mark of this third quarter. The ball back into play again. Russell Green's got the start here away from his opponent. Newport goes for a kick out wide. There's a chance for Lovett to pick it up. Juggles it and the ball is out of bounds. He's on Curran out there. Curran's been a very quiet player tonight.
Started off well. Dipper Domenico about to come on.
Has had 2 touches for the match today. Dipper, a very quiet night for him, but as Lou mentioned earlier, a few Hawthorn players in the same bracket. This is Stretch. A high kick to centre wing. Schwab grabs Flower, seemingly when he didn't have the ball. Now it's Bailey with the hand pass. Over it goes to Batterston. A long kick by the Melbourne Rover. Up to Moore and Abbott. Oh, Moore flat, one of his teammates down there. Didn't do him much good as the ball was booted out towards the wing position now. And a chance for the Demons again. This is Johnson picking up a million kicks. And marked by Jenke. Now towards the wing position. Johnson again. Must get a free kick for that. And as we look through the stats, it'll be his 13th kick for the night. He's got a 15-metre penalty as well. So things not going the way of the Hawthorn team this evening. Alan Johnson and Loveridge playing the best on the ground so far.
Lester Smith off too, Peter.
Well, he's been on and off tonight. That's young Dean getting the ball down. O'Dwyer tries to palm it forward. Ayres likewise onto Platten. Didn't have it for long. This is Morris. And a good defender for Hawthorn, but Dean's kicked 3 goals.
Well,
now
they've moved him off Dean now, Pete. Langford's on Dean.
Green. Platten. Ayres at centre field. Is long. Down to Dipper Domenico. This will be his 3rd touch for the night. If he can pick it up, he has done. Looks for the hand pass to Curran, who is well covered by Lovett. It's out of bounds. Hawthorn's left forward pocket at the 16-minute mark of the term. Still 16 points the difference. It was 15 at half-time and 7 at quarter-time. Kennedy and Stretch. Kennedy to Dipper Domenico. Stretch tackles him effectively. Stretch on the boundary line. O'Dwyer, Connolly. Gets the hand pass out. Batterston. Offloaded by Dunstall. Still gets his kick in. It's out towards the members' stand flank. And the boundary line too close for all of them. It will be a throw-in at the 16.5-minute mark of the term.
It's out of bounds up towards the Hawthorn half-forward line, but a heck of a way around from their goals. They're trailing by 16 points, so Melbourne hanging in pretty well in this third quarter. It'll be O'Dwyer against Deere. Well, actually, O'Dwyer got that down. A hurried kick by Johnson, doing a great job for Melbourne, number 9. This is little Yates going after it now. Started off okay, but he's carted it out of bounds on the centre wing position. So into the third quarter by just on 17 minutes. It's 8 goals, 8.56 Melbourne to Hawthorn, 6.440. Waiting for the ball to come back into play again. O'Dwyer and Deere to do battle here. Well, O'Dwyer got it down, but Loveridge grabbed it or pushed out. Kennedy picked it up now. He's grabbed it. He hasn't touched the ball too much tonight either, but he's had plenty of friends out there for Hawthorn. They're light on for good players tonight, the Hawks. Ball out of bounds up towards the Hawthorn half-forward flank position. There's a wrestle going on between O'Dwyer and Deere. Ball pushed out back there, grabbed by Barney, who's played very well tonight. Over it goes to Stretch, a hurried kick back towards the centre wing position. The ball tapped out by Mew. So once again, play held up here on this member's side of the ground. Out of bounds once more in the centre wing position. O'Dwyer and Deere. Knocked out by O'Dwyer. Loveridge goes after. He's put off balance that time by Healy, and the ball once more is out of bounds. Well, this is the worst part of the night. It's been pretty good football up to this stage. Dwyer, no, that was Deere getting it down, kicked off the ground by Johnson, out to the wide open space. There's a chance for Domenico, a hand pass to Ayres at centre half forward. Over it goes now to Eade. A running shot at goal, a long kick. Dunstall and Hughes go for this one. Dunstall tapped it, but it went through for 1 point. So we see Melbourne 8 goals, 8.56 to Hawthorn, still struggling to get in front here. 6 goals, 5.41. 18.5 minutes gone of this third quarter.
And that is the difference that we enjoyed at half-time, as Hughes this time favours the member stand flank. And Dwyer was up high. An umpire has found a free kick from that pack, and it's going Hawthorn's way. The recipient is Gary Ayres. He's about 70 metres from goal. Goes for a pass on a lead as Dunstall. Has to prop though. Hughes knocks the ball clear. Opportunity for Healy to get the ball out of the danger zone, which he does. Albeit with a high kick underneath it, Gary Ayres takes a courageous mark.
They take about 4 weeks to come down, those ones, don't they?
Ayres. Dunstall. Oh, got high, couldn't complete it. Curran looks for the hand pass.
Oh, play.
Yes, good defence there for Melbourne by Spalding.
It's also interesting, Peter, the Hawthorn players certainly back one another in. We saw there the ball got, and young Dixon took off immediately for goal, and the ball nearly dropped in his hands.
It's a right forward pocket for Hawthorn. Getting clear there. Good tackle by Lovett. Now it's picked up by Biney. Curran. Curran again. Looks for Loveridge. Here's a chance for a score. Loveridge has a shot. It's going close. They need one here, Hawthorn. That's his second goal. 20.5 minutes into the term. 56 plays 47. Melbourne have got quick replies to Hawthorn goals in recent times. In this match, as Flower has a chance at half forward. Schwab right there with him. Will be content to see the ball over the boundary line. A throw in will follow. It's going to be Moore with Deere. Wilson for backup support for Melbourne. Went over his head. Yates gets the hand pass out. Picked up by Adrian Batterston. His kick is a little bit too long for Wilson. And also Healy to take. Wilson on the boundary line. Goes for the banana kick. Here he is again, number 23 for goal number 4. And that's a great effort from young Warren Dean. 9-8 to 7-5. Once again, Melbourne get the quick reply to maintain their advantage.
Well, he certainly is a frustrating player, Dean. He's kicked his 4th. But we see here, I think Melbourne may just lose out when Moore goes into the ruck. They lose that mobility because O'Dwyer has got to go down to that full forward position. Now, I think if O'Dwyer at this stage of his career has to go off the ball, he should go off the ground altogether.
All of those goals of Dean have come from snapshots, so he's proving a very elusive half-forward flanker. 7 kicks he's had.
There's the bounce, knocked out by Moore. Batterson juggled that one. Picked up by Barney. As I said before, doing a great job tonight. It beat Green. Green's got a chance to retrieve it now. Picks it up well down there in the back pocket. Goes for a short pass. But no one there for Hawthorn, and the ball is out of bounds. Well, they've taken Morris off Dean. And, of course, we've got Langford on for Dean now.
O'Dwyer going off and Regalo on.
Regalo on, number 26.
They must have a hotline to our commentary box.
They're listening
Melbourne.
to you, Don. Knocked out by Deere, picked up by Stretch. Chance for Melbourne to go deep into attack this time through Wilson. There's no one coming at him. He balks beautifully around Kennedy. Has a long shot, looking there for Regalo, but well placed that time was Langford to take a quick mark. Over to Green. Green takes it well down towards that wing position. Ayres, good mark. Too strong that time for Coop. And has the mark out there towards the centre wing position. Into the third quarter by just on 23 minutes. Well, that was Conley flying high. The ball shot out wide. It'll be out of bounds on the full.
Bad play by Conley.
Well, it was a bad kick by Lovett, but Conley shouldn't have been in that pack. That's Jenke kicking the ball over the half-forward line. Players set themselves. Nearly a mark to Cohen. Conley picked it up again. They're backing up well, Melbourne, but they've put it out of bounds. They're giving Hawthorn a million chances down there to go deep into attack through foolish or very lazy play. Jenke again from about 70 metres out. Punched out again by Hughes. He lost sight of it. DP Domenico not having a great night tonight. This is Wilson. DP Domenico goes into his back, and he said, yes, you pushed him in the back.
He played for that. Good play, experience.
So Wilson balks again. He can certainly do that pretty well. He leaves them grabbing fresh air as the ball comes out wide now, and Stretch has got a mark. And Hawthorn are in plenty of trouble because Melbourne seem to have their measure in this third quarter again. 15 points the difference. There's a 15-metre penalty.
That was intentional, though.
Against Jenke. This brings Stretch right up to the centre wing position. A chance to send Melbourne deep into attack again. Punched away from Regalo. Punched on again by Eade. Picked up here by Batterson. A long kick out there towards that half-forward line, but it's off target and out of bounds. So it's out of bounds about 70 metres around from the Melbourne goal. And they're doing pretty well again. 9 goals, 8.62 to Hawthorn, 7.5.47. As we approach the 24.5-minute mark of this third quarter.
And Melbourne can be pretty pleased with their efforts, not only in this quarter, but in the match today. Knocked down by Mew. And Healy wrestles his teammate down there, Johnson, for the ball. It's going to be a ball up as we approach the time on period. We're 20 seconds from it. Knocked away by Lyon. Here he is again. Dean, was he tripped up?
I reckon.
Umpire says it will be a free kick. He won't score a goal from there, but he should be able to put it pretty close. He's kicked 4 so far. And a very elusive player, the best forward on the ground. That's a shocker. Almost a great mark brought in there down on the forward line as Viney goes through, gets grabbed pretty quickly by Eade, and the umpire will bounce it about 15 metres out from the Melbourne goal.
He's not frightened to go into a pack, that Viney, either, is he?
My word, no, he's very, very impressive.
Hawthorn crowding the forward line. Big Regalo going to contest the bounce against Abbott, and he wins it decisively. There's a chance for a Melbourne score. Ball tapped over the back of the pack there to Kennedy. Has to go back towards Ludbridge, nearer the goals. He wobbles a punt kick out towards the 50-metre line. Bailey gets grabbed by Dixon. Russo tries to spin out of the pack unsuccessfully. Healy gives the hand pass over the top. Bailey overruns the ball. Batterston's there, picked up by Dixon. Gets it back to Ludbridge. Easily Hawthorn's best player. Wilson gets a favourable bounce and gets clear. A balk again, into trouble, out of trouble. He does it easily, Wilson. Again, Melbourne not combining there in the packs. There was too many up and none down. It's left to Russo to get Hawthorn clear.
And he lands the ball back in the centre of the ground. That's Spalding battling hard there. He goes after it, smothers the ball, and not letting Hawthorn getting it. Comes out to Lovett. Lovett kicks the ball out towards that half-forward flank. Morris and Coop go after it now. Morris has got the front posse. He goes down. He's in plenty of trouble now. Coop won't give in. Coming in to help now, but Coop beat the boat from DP Domenico as well and kicks the ball off the ground up towards the Melbourne half-forward line. That was good play on the part of Coop, playing 2 players there.
And also an indication of the way Melbourne is playing. It was a mistake on that half-forward line, 2 Melbourne players going, but the side is very intent, and that's a sign of a team going in hard after the ball.
That's DP Domenico kicking the ball back. A chance for Moore to mark at the back of Deer. Goes the punch. Platten couldn't grab it. Now Platten's got a chance. He's pumping the ball in the pack. They pounce on top of him. And the umpire will ball it up out there towards the centre wing position. That was Stretch on the bottom. Then 62 plays 47 in favour of the Demons as we approach the 27.5-minute mark of this third quarter. Knocked out by Deer again. Plenty of Melbourne players there. Barney once more out to Healy. Healy looking for a lead from Dean. Dean got a hand to it, but Langford's got him covered, but Dean won't get to only the man. So he's doing pretty well, this young fellow. He's already kicked 4 goals. Langford not too happy with the decision. Kicked that one a lot further. Joe Regalo got a touch to it. There's a go tapped on that time by Flower. Out it comes now to Batterston. Balks. He's in a bit of trouble. A hurried kick up towards the full forward position. And Joe's got it. Joe Regolo's taken the mark right in front of the goal. Good on you, Joe. You got a chance to score a goal. That was a strong mark by Regolo that time. He's only about...
We see here Regolo. Morley, he was the biggest man down there, and against Loveridge, he had an unfair advantage.
We didn't worry about that because he got a chance to score a goal, and that's what he's done.
Joe Regolo kicking his first goal, and Melbourne, as we approach the 29-minute mark of the term, enjoying their best lead, and probably their best lead for many years over any Hawthorn side. What a boil over tonight. So Melbourne looking for a place in the semi-finals now, as Coop gets dragged down by Morris. And the umpire said it's going to be nothing because there's the bounce for three-quarter time. The ball up. Fine, we did it right. Melbourne 10-8, 68. As Robert Flower goes back to the huddle at three-quarter time with a little bit of a limp. 10-8, 68 to 7-5, 47. So a very good quarter by Melbourne. They kicked 4 goals in the term, and Hawthorn kicked 3. So once again, the Demons outscored the Hawks. We'll take a break, and we'll be back here at VFL Park shortly. Well, Melbourne have thrown out the challenge to Hawthorn. They've outscored them in every quarter so far, in a three-quarter time lead by 21 points. Goal kickers for Melbourne. Dean, a superb game up forward. He has 4 from deliberate snapshots. Flower has 2, and singles to Moore, Regolo, Johnson and Lyon. For Hawthorn, 2 to Dunstall, 2 to Loveridge, singles to Curran, Jinky and Platten. After the game, we'll be voting for our Best on Ground award tonight with the compliments of National.
Tonight's player of the match will receive a Technic CD unit from National Panasonic. This programmable compact disc player features 20-step random access programming and 2-speed search with queuing sound. Compliments of Technics from National Panasonic.
I mentioned just before three-quarter, or just after the three-quarter time siren, that Robbie Flower was limping back to the huddle. Let's take a look now at the incident that resulted in Flower being injured. It seems to be an ankle, and we'll take a look at it now. Let's see exactly what happened.
Bang there.
He went down rather awkwardly in a pack. Maybe a slight sprain or whatever. But he did walk rather gingerly back to the huddle at three-quarter time. Don, how did you see the third quarter?
Well, it was interesting seeing that. The 2 Melbourne players clashed earlier on this centre wing near the members' wing. 2 players clashed again, and Melbourne went on from that position and scored their 8th goal. And it's interesting to note when a team is so intent on winning the ball, they disregard their personal safety, they keep their eye on the ball, and clashes with teammates do happen. Some people call it a lack of talking or understanding amongst one another. I tend to disagree, especially in a situation such as this. It shows the intent of players, and Melbourne moved the ball very well, and this is the best piece of play. Early in that third quarter, though, they blitzed the Hawthorn black line, cut it to pieces, and went solidly in forward. Johnson's been a very, very good player for them on the wing. Hawthorn, again, as I said at half-time, seem to be promising a lot, but just not yet delivering. Dean, I would say, would be a very frustrating player. He's got a little bit to learn in as far as VFL football, when to go and when not to go. He's not going on some occasions, but he is capitalising, and at this stage has kicked 4 goals. I also think Moore doing extremely well up forward too, and did very well in that quarter. And here's Dean going in for his 4th goal, getting in front of Langford, but it was good play by Wilson, and Wilson is starting to come into the game, and he's been a real contributor in the 2nd and 3rd quarters, and it's good to see.
Alan Jeans, I think, would be a little bit worried as he makes his way off the ground at three-quarter time. Well, Peter Donegan and Jack Edwards will tell us more. Let's go downstairs.
Thanks, Pete. Well, Alan Jeans said to his players that they were falling down across the centre line. He said they weren't interested in the ball, and he said it's better to get beaten, even if you make a mistake when you're going after the ball, than to stand around and watch the opposition do it. What about John Northey, Jack? Was he happy?
Well, John Northey was telling his boys, you've been in this position before and haven't gone on. But the players themselves are lifting each other. They said, we can do it, we can win it, and they're very, very confident they can win it. And why shouldn't they be? They've increased their lead from quarter time to half time to three-quarter time. So why couldn't they win it? Should be a great final quarter on the National Panasonic Cup.
Well, it certainly will be. 21 points the difference in favour of the Demons. As Jack said, can they hang on, or can the reigning premiers Hawthorn come back? We're about to find out with the start of the last quarter as we go back to the commentary box and Peter Landing.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Don, would this be Hawthorn's strongest side apart from Buckenara and Wallace?
Well, it would be, Peter, but I was a little bit worried today. I just got the indication that Hawthorn are treating this as a bit of a trial game, and maybe that's the attitude that's prevailed and has come through onto their their build-up, their pre-game build-up, and also they've taken it onto the field because they haven't played particularly well for these first. Well, we just saw there Dermot Brereton laughing on the bench, so could be an indication.
Not a good attitude to take for a top side, really, is it?
Well, I don't think so. You can see there Dermot there. They don't seem to be worried. Lester Smith.
Final quarter now, with Melbourne enjoying a 21-point lead over the defending title holders and reigning premiers. Knocked down by Deere. Platten gets it out wide. A punch away comes to Lyon, though. And Lyon boots Melbourne into attack, where it's picked up by Russell Morris. Well shepherded by Deere. Long kick by the Hawthorn defender. Spalding tries to knock the ball into the open spaces, but it's a mark to a hawk down there, and Abbott. Abbott up to half forward. Not a well-directed kick. Connolly drags play back towards centre wing, and Wilson, one of Melbourne's leading kick getters, gets the hand pass out to Newport. Newport up towards the full forward pocket. There's Joe Regolo. Flower gets the hand pass away. This is Dean. He's already kicked 4 goals. That one slews off the side of the boot. Still 50 metres out, but luck's of fortune. It goes to Lyon. Lyon's gone for a short pass. Not a particularly good kick, though, however. It's a chance for Coop onto Batterston. Batterston gets clear, has a snapshot, and the ball knocked through 4-1 behind by Greg Deere, which makes the difference 22 points. 10-9 to 7-5 in the National Panasonic Cup. Melbourne still showing plenty of desperation. Don.
Melbourne's skill evident, lack of skill evident in that passage of play.
Ball driven out towards the half-back line. Umpire has found a free kick going Hawthorn's way. And it will go to Gary Ayres. The 2 number 7s out there, and it will be a 15-metre penalty against Brian Wilson. Ayres from left half-back flank. Tries to find Curran, couldn't take the mark, went for the knock-on. Spalding should pick it up for Melbourne, does so. Abbott gets the hand pass effectively to Curran. Long to Dunstall, if he can take the mark. Good punch away by Hughes. Down to Jenke, both fumble. Dunstall again, the opportunity around Hughes. Long kick, it won't be a score. Bailey underneath it with Lovett. Both of them spoil effectively. Stretch and tuck back on the ground. It's out of bounds at the 2-minute mark.
Out of bounds in the forward pocket position for Hawthorn, about 15 metres around from their goal. They're trailing by 22 points. Waiting for the knockout. It'll be Abbott and Moore to go for the throw-in. Abbott in the front posse. Moore gets in front now, got the ball down. That's Conley was grabbed, didn't have the ball. Picked up by Loveridge again, but went without it as he went through the pack. Well, they're all having a bit of a dip there, and the umpire will ball it up. Still about 30 metres out. That was Johnson. He's played a great game
He's
tonight.
only small, Lou, isn't he? But what a little terrier.
Well, he's bored in all night.
He's working well up in the back line too.
Ball up there in the forward pocket. Comes back now, a chance for Dunstall. Hooks the ball back over his shoulder. And that was forced through by Bailey. So the difference 21 points now. 10 goals, 9-69 Melbourne to Hawthorn, 7-6-48 as we approach the 3-minute mark of this last quarter. This is the second quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup for 1987. Out wide, looking for Wilson. He's got the start on Ayres. He's only got a bounce right. Ayres won't give in. He outmanoeuvred him that time. Now Wilson's all over his back, and he'll get a free kick and deserve it too. Sometimes Wilson is inclined to do a little, or try to be a little bit too smart, that backfires. Spalding couldn't hold the mark. Back it goes to Batterson. Steps out the pack nicely. Cop one in the face as it comes over to Johnson. Johnson kicks it wide. Flying high was Flower. Knocking the ball away was Swab. He's grabbed. He's got 3 to contend with them. Just about beat them all. He did. Over it goes now to Russell Green. To Eve. Over to Jenke. Jenke drives the ball over the half-forward line, and Dunstall's got the mark. Well, I think you'd have to say he's on top of Hughes. There's no doubt about that. He's only kicked 2 goals.
Wilson's done his shoulder. He's off, and Yates has come on, so it doesn't look good.
Wilson has had a lot of problems with that shoulder.
Now he's about 40 metres out, Dunstall. The difference 21 points, and he's already kicked 2 goals. There she is on its way. And that's a goal.
10-9 to 8-6, 54 plays 69, still 15 points the difference, and that was the difference at half-time. This is Gary Ayres. The mark taken though by Alan Johnson. One of the best on the ground kick-wise, and that's a good strong mark to Dippy Domenico, who plays on. Just about gets caught by Dean. The ball rebounds to Yates. The umpire has blown the whistle. And Melbourne fans not appreciative of that decision because the Hawthorn side had been dispossessed. Wilson having the ice put on the shoulder. Now, of course, he missed almost an entire season with a dislocated shoulder. Let's hope that's not the case. Dippy Domenico's kick almost marked down there for Melbourne by Newport as the ball is scooped out towards the edge of the square and taken by Healy. Back it goes to Yates at centre field. Yates's kick is high, doesn't travel much distance. Flower and Schwab. It's a good look. Yes, good. See how he tucked the backside into his tummy there.
That's experience, Luke. And you don't have to have a big body to be strong, but that was also strength on Flower's behalf.
Robbie Flower, some 55 metres out. He's kicked 2 goals so far, one from a mark, one from a snapshot. That should land just about in the square. And off the hand through for one behind to the Demons at the 6-minute mark of the quarter. Scoreboard 10-10 to 8-6. Peter Donegan has some news on Brian Wilson.
Well, you can see they've got the ice on Brian's shoulder at the moment, Pete, and it did look pretty severe when he first came off, but the doctors had a look at him and said it's just a knock and he'll be okay.
6.5 minutes gone.
Now there's a chance now for the ball to be picked up here now by Russell Green at half back. Not a great kick. Was that a push in the back to Curran? The umpire didn't think so. Down went Biney and the ball is out of bounds. So that's fair. What's fair to one is fair to the other. Out of bounds on the centre wing position. Approaching the 7-minute mark and Melbourne still in front by 16 points. Over it goes now to Lovett. Hooks the ball back to the half-forward line. Healy in front. Still juggling the ball. He's going to claim that mark, but the umpire won't overbar that, and I don't blame him. That was a good decision by the umpire.
Interesting to see that one on replay because Healy put it at first. His hands went on it first.
Well, Green came at the back, and I think he had a fair touch of it, Don.
We'll see here on replay, Healy in front. Yeah, Dean second, third.
Ball out towards the wing position, driving it back further again. But there's a strong mark taken by Mew. So Mew with the ball now at half back for Hawthorn. They're still trailing by 16 points. He drives it across to the centre of the ground. Punched out by Spalding. Not a good knockout, but scouting out there was Johnson. You can bet your life he's at the bottom of the pack. He usually is, and he's played a great game tonight, number 9. A couple of players have impressed us tonight. Johnson, Barney's been good too, number 12. It's a tuck's back on the ground. Peter Moore got a good knockout. It's a tuck on the head. Langford's kick is smothered. Picked up by Batterson. Goes short. And there he is. He's got it again. This is Flower getting through about 4. And now he's going to lose this tuckskin to his back. Picked up by Batterson. And it's still in play as the ball goes back and out of bounds. So it's out of bounds on the centre wing position. Just over the 8-minute mark. And we see John Northey on the phone there. 10-10-70 to Hawthorn. 8 goals, 6:54.
Boundary throw in, knocked down by Deer. This is Yates. The high kick travels only about 30 metres. 2-on-1 in favour of Hawthorn. Regolo couldn't take the mark. It's out of bounds. Boundary throw in on the Melbourne right half forward flank at the 8.5-minute mark of the term. Moore and Deer. Moore throws the ball ahead. Morris scooped out in front of Gary Ayres, had a fresh air shot. Loveridge. And it looks like a rugby scrum.
Certainly did.
We're seeing a few more of those this year. 9 minutes gone. 16 minutes into the term. Knocked down by Russell Morris over the boundary line on centre wing. Once again, we'll see a throw in.
It's good to see Peter Moore fighting it on after getting a hit out or contesting a ruck throw in.
Moore didn't play in the Demons' first outing in this series this year. Knocked away by Deer. A fumble allows Viney in. Nearly had his head pulled off. His kick rebounds off the chest of Gary Ayres. Loose ball on centre wing. Picked up for Hawthorn by Greg Deer. The big fellow goes long up to the 50-metre line. And fisted well clear by Bailey. It's out of bounds. So Melbourne doing everything right so far. Hawthorn can't make inroads on the Demons' lead. Melbourne have looked the more desperate side right throughout. It's a nice ride. Umpire says no. Play goes on. Lovett's kick is up to the centre wing position. 2 Hawthorn players are there. It's left to Chris Muir. A little bit too slow to get rid of the ball. Lovely scoop out. Up it comes to Robbie Flower again. He can't handle it on this occasion. Eads' kick is short. Back to the centre wing position. It's all Melbourne though. And driven forward for the Demons by Yates. It's out of bounds once more.
Well, Burley's not having a great night tonight. He's really mistiming the ball or misreading the play.
He's not lonely, Lou.
No, he's not lonely. He's got a lot of mates out there, old number 9.
A lot of mates. You could count Hawthorn's good players on one hand. This time he kicks it off the ground effectively. Good tackle by Michael Tuck. Umpire says no free kick for that. It will, however, be a bounce right off the edge of the square.
Melbourne players certainly throwing themselves in at this stage. They obviously sense they can win this game, and they seem to have more players around where the ball is, but just can't capitalise up forward.
Well, there's 16 points in front, just on the 11-minute mark of this last quarter. Both ruckmen missed that. Ball pushed back again to Johnson, a hurried kick back towards half forward. There's DP Domenico going through, but they collared him. This is pretty scrambly play, and the umpire will ball it up once again.
Real pressure football at the moment, Lou.
Ball up round about centre half forward.
Wilson looks like he could be coming back on.
Well, that's good news. Picked up by Tuck from that knockout of the hand pass coming over to Eade. Eade at centre field. Goes wide, looking there for Curran. Lovett's at the back, successful with the knockout. Down goes Hughes. Lovett backing up, well collared by Dunstall. They both go down, picked up by Dixon, but he won't give it, even though his hand pass was smothered. Back to Eade. A quick one out to Curran. Misread the bounce of the ball. This allowed Lovett to get a hand pass out to Bailey on his own. There's a chance for Melbourne to go deep into attack. A pass to line. He fumbles the ball, goes after it again, doesn't bother about picking it up, suckers it up the ground, looking for Healy. But Green's there. His hand pass is not too good for Bertie Domenico. He's on the boundary line. He's put off balance. Melbourne really desperate as the ball is picked up again. And it's Dean going for a long kick, looking for Robert Flower. Got up. He was upended that time by Swope. Ball snap at goal that time by Yates, I think it is, and it's out of bounds. So it's out of bounds on the full. That'll be a penalty free kick down there to Hawthorn Swap. Into this last quarter by 12.5 minutes. Still Melbourne in front by 16 points. A short pass at Langford's got it, but the umpire's bringing it back. This will give Melbourne a chance to pick up any loose players around the ground. Hawthorn finding it very difficult to break clear of this very determined Melbourne side. Wellman outmanoeuvred young Coop that time, Tuck, and takes a good mark right on the 50-metre defence line. Decides to break clear of Moore, sends it back to the centre of the ground. That's a good mark taken there by Abbott. Falling down, that gave Abbott a better chance. A long hand pass to Weed. Back it goes to Russell Green from the edge of the square, goes for a pass, looking for Dunstall. He dropped that one as it going out for the ball to be picked up. That time over to Platt from Dixon. The ball shot by Platten out wide. Cowan couldn't mark it because Lovett's well on his tail there. Down goes Lovett. He gets a hand pass over to Dunstall. This could be a goal. Back to Platten. This is a chance. What have they done with it? This could be a point. It was, so they're giving away plenty of chances and making it pretty easy for Melbourne. So into this quarter, the last by 13.5 minutes, is still 10 goals, 10-70. Melbourne at Hawthorn, 8-7-55.
Healy, 13 3/4 minutes into the term. This is Newport on centre wing. Newport goes long down to the 50-metre line. DP Domenico in front. 3 Melbourne players are there. It's left to Regolo, who fires out an effective hand pass, taking it as Yates. He nearly had his head taken off as well. Now Yates has centred the ball. Some high flyers needed here for Melbourne. There aren't any there, and Green takes the mark for the Hawks.
Bailey should have gone then.
Hand pass. Back it comes to Green, but Hawthorn haven't had any runners tonight. Tuck has to beat 2 of them. Connolly comes out, well shepherded from Robbie Flower. Regolo going for goal number 2. Regolo's second mark, and a goal here would just about make Melbourne home. Hawthorn's forward line has left a lot to be desired this evening. And Joe Regolo, while spending most of the night on the bench, has come on, had a couple of marks, and now has a chance for his second goal. which I think he has put through. Yeah. That was Joe Rigolo's second goal. Healy is on the boundary line at the moment, receiving attention from trainers. It's still 21 points the difference, and that indeed was the difference at three-quarter time. So if Hawthorn are to get back into this match, they've got to do it quickly. Ball driven up by Spalding now. Here's another chance for the Demons, picked up by Langford. Out to Morris. Kennedy fumbles. Haven't seen much of John tonight. That should be in the back. It is. A free kick on the right half-back flank going Hawthorn's way, and the recipient will be Chris Mew.
Well, they've got Chris Mew down in defence. They had him on the forward line just a moment ago, Don.
I don't think Mew really wanted that ball then, Lou.
The ball kicked by Platt back out wide. There's a chance now for Melbourne to get the ball further forward through Yates. He's doing a good job tonight as he sends it out to that half-forward line. Flower's got a start on here. Good play by Flower, looking there for Moore. Swab goes down. Moore's got a chance. He beat him for the ball. Swab going down. He's got a goal. Well, you can put it in your glasses now. That's Moore's second goal, and Melbourne really looking good. 12 goals, 10.82. To Hawthorn, 8:7:55 as we approach the 16.5-minute mark of this last quarter.
Well, if there's one weakness about Peter Swab's play, it's the fact that he does go to ground. And we'll see here when he gets the ball, he usually goes to ground. And that is one time it didn't pay off. What good play by Robbie Flower, because he knew Moore was over there by himself, endeavoured to get it away, and the big fellow showed great mobility, and what jubilation.
27 points the difference. There's a chance for them to go deep into attack through Bailey. Up there to half-forward, flying high was Wilson. He's got it. Well, that's a good effort. Went off the ground with an injured shoulder about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and he's back on the ground again, taking a superb mark that time. 50 metres out. Gone for a pass. It'll be all right. Hawthorn really leaving players run loose all over that forward line, and we see Batterston with the ball now only about 40 metres out from goal, if that. And Batterston's yet to score one. Melbourne 82 points to Hawthorn 55.
Well, Hawthorn lost their last practice game to the Swans, so this will be 2 defeats in succession.
Waiting on little Batterston. They've had many good players tonight. They've really played as a team, Melbourne.
Showed tremendous endeavour.
Well, we watched Geelong on Saturday night show all the endeavour and vigour about the place, and perhaps Melbourne's got a similar style. That could help them a lot this year. There's the kick, and that's another one.
And that was Batterston's first goal, so it's 33 points the difference, and it's turning into a cakewalk for Melbourne. This is Viney. DiPietro flew very high, didn't come down with the ball. Here he gets tripped up, picked up by Dipper, didn't get clear. Green soccers it out to Dixon on left centre wing. Ball Melbourne, Connolly. Out it goes to, this is Brett Bailey.
Had a solid game tonight, Bailey.
Chris Mew tangles with Lyon. Free kick for on the shoulder, which Mew will take for Hawthorn at half back. Back it comes now to Jenke. Jenke up towards half forward and Abbott. This is Ayres over to Loveridge, who's gone out of the play in the last quarter. Dunstall.
This fella's done a terrific job down there at full forward with the limited opportunities he's had.
Limited opportunities. He's kicked 3 goals and hit the post once. He's been their only forward.
You can always lead. I believe that Dunstall can always lead with great confidence, because he knows if he gets out in front, the fellows up the ground are such good deliverers of the ball that he can take, well, he can back himself in normally.
That looks a goal. It is, so that makes Dunstall's tally now 4. 61 plays 88, a difference of 27 points, but only about 10 minutes left for play. It's hard to see Melbourne being beaten.
Loveridge again getting the ball. He's got enough time and composure to lift his head. Dunstall led. And Hawthorn amazed me on occasions the way they can deliver the ball.
They haven't done it enough tonight, Don, have they?
Well, they just haven't won it, Peter.
No, Melbourne have shown much more desperation. Knocked away by Deere. Yates got one in the back. And for such, he'll take the free kick at the centre circle with Ayres standing on the mark. Well, he's gone out really wide. Can't go much wider than that, and taken down there by Stretch, who's gone for a pass to half forward. A gem of a mark to Robbie Flower. Some of his best form in the night games. He was judged best on ground in Melbourne's previous outing to win the prize. And tonight, some great form again. Big pack of players down there, roving at Weber's Wilson. The umpire said he got a push in the back from Russell Green, and the umpire slips over. So Brian Wilson, after looking as though he had possibly dislocated his shoulder at the 4-minute mark of this quarter, has a chance to really sew it up for Melbourne if it needed sewing up. Wilson has kicked 1 goal so far. It's 1 behind. 21.5 minutes gone. 13-11 to 9-7. The difference again of 28 points. Langford to bring the ball back into play. Wobbles it straight down the ground. Kennedy in front. Knocked away by Bailey. In goes Morris. The umpire's given him a free kick. Couldn't tell you what for.
In the back, he said.
And Russell Morris to take the free kick at the 50-metre defence line for the Hawks.
Into the quarter by just on 22 minutes. 28 points the difference in favour of Melbourne. Time running out for the Hawks. Picked up by Dixon, showing a lot of pace. Goes for a pass, looking for Dunscombe, but there we see in the way that time Yates, who's been a very consistent player tonight. Little Yates down there in the back pocket. See Lovett making position, but he's ignoring that, not taking any chances. Going for the long kick out there, looking for Regalo. At the back is Deer, forces the ball to the ground, picks it up quickly. That was a good effort. Back it goes now to Dixon. A hand pass coming over to Kennedy. To Platt from 50 metres out now. 40 fires at the goals, and that's a good one. Another goal to Hawthorn. When I say another one, a handy goal for them, because they haven't been kicking them too frequently tonight. So it's 13-11-89 Melbourne to Hawthorn 10-7-67, 22.5 minutes gone.
Well, although we've played 22 minutes of this last quarter, I still won't ride off Hawthorn until I hear that bell. Young Dixon again figuring in the play, initiating the play, a series of handballs, and Clatton went through and kicked his second goal. It's been a long time for drinks before Johnny kicked his first in the first quarter. We haven't seen him since.
I reckon there's about 7 minutes to go, and it's 22 points the difference. Deer got a knockout. There's a chance for Janke. Kicked it off the ground when he was grabbed. He's grabbed again. He goes down. He gets a good hand pass to Loveridge. A hurried kick back to half forward. Lester Smith back on the ground. Picked up by Spalding. His kick is wide. There's a chance for Stretch to mark it. He had to stretch to get that one. Batterson plays the ball in front of his opponent, tucked there, but it's out of bounds. So it's out of bounds on the centre wing position. So if Hawthorn are good enough, they can easily win this game with a 22-point margin to pick up. It'll be Peter Moore against Deer from that centre wing position. Well, neither ruckman got it. Loveridge picks it up. He's slung to the ground. Going through his Bailey, missed the ball. Oh, Yates went in, nearly collected Dixon, but missed. The ball back out there towards that defence line. And Bailey playing it safe, forces it over the line and out of bounds. About 50 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. 24 minutes gone. I would say about 6 minutes to go. Wouldn't you, Pete?
At the most, Lou.
So they could still pick that margin up if they're good enough. The ball pushed out by Moore, and this will suit Hawthorn. Buttling play up there and throwing the ball in all the time. It's all wasting time.
My word, I was just going to say, good play by Moore, and this is the way Melbourne have got to do it now. Hug the boundary and just keep hitting it over the boundary line.
So 40 seconds from time on, 21 points the difference. Wilson and Green. Now it comes to Peter Newport. Steve Newport up towards half forward. Right off the edge of the square. Langford soccers the ball Melbourne's way, but it goes to Dippy Domenico, and he gets it back. Breaks the tackle from Regolo. Stretch. Lets it go for Johnson. One of Melbourne's best players, and an excellent kick, and the mark is taken by Coop.
That was a 50-metre pass, because he really did mean the ball to go there, and he just didn't blast away. He picked out Coop, and it hit him fair on the chest from 50 metres. Good kick.
Coop, former Swans, former North Melbourne player. Now 50 metres out. We're into time on. Chance to increase Melbourne's lead from 21 points. We'll get the distance. What's the accuracy like? The goal umpire says 1 behind only, so it makes the difference 22 points. Hawthorn need 4 goals in the space of 3.5 minutes, and you can get 100 to 1. Russell Morris. Good long kick. Johnson at the back of Kennedy on this occasion. Kennedy gets the hand pass away to Mew, who goes out very wide. It's towards the boundary line, and in fact crosses it, so it's a throw in pretty close to the centre wing position. Well, Melbourne haven't had too many wins over Hawthorn in recent times. They'll certainly enjoy the celebrations this evening. Michael Tuck, the Hawthorn skipper, on left centre wing. He's gone for a pass down towards half forward, tries to find Ayres or Abbott. Now the ball rebounds to Abbott. It's gone for a high hand pass onto Loveridge. Good play by Lovett to get the ball down to his teammate in Bailey, past Yates. Coop gets the hand pass out to Stretch. Stretch from inside the square. Long to half forward. At the back is Rogolo. Ball knocked away by Green. The umpire says a free kick going Melbourne's way to Brian Wilson.
Who's in the back.
Played for that one too.
So Wilson, the Brownlow medalist. The pass again, looking for Robbie Flower. This time Peter Schwab doesn't fall over. Gets the kick in, looks for... Who is he looking for out there? It's taken away by Conley, and a chance for Melbourne to go deep into attack again.
And they're doing it easily as the ball goes over their half-forward line. Joe Regalo in front, punched out by Deere. Going after meet it now is Morris. A quick hand pass. Loveridge has got a chance, but the bounce eluded him that time. Langford pushed on by Deere. Oh, there was a bit of a kick that time, but finally Langford goes for the second one. Picked up by Batterston, over to Conley. Conley's kick is to Joe Regalo when he's... Oh, he's got it! Oh, he nearly dropped that one. He grabbed it, Joe, at the last moment.
So that's the second one he's got like that. He took a very good high mark before, but obviously that ball a little bit hot because he didn't want to hold it. We see here on replay, Joe on the chest, juggles. Oh, just about dropped it.
You could say he made hard work of that. Now he's about 40 metres out from goal. He's already kicked 2. And of course Melbourne on 90 points to Hawthorn 67. Just over the 27.5-minute mark. Going for goal number 3, Regolo. What's the result? That's 1. So it's good night Hawthorn for the National Panasonic Cup. They're out of it now for sure. 14-12, 96 Melbourne to Hawthorn 10-7-67 as we approach the 28-minute mark of this last quarter. I reckon about 2.5 minutes to go at the most.
That was a magnificent kick by Regalo because he was quite a distance out. You can just see the 50-metre line behind, so he would have kicked at least 45 metres on a 45-degree angle. Not an easy kick from that position, and he's kicked his 3rd goal.
Centre bounce again. Knocked out by Deere, who's worked very hard in the ruck tonight. Down goes Lovett. The umpire fell over with him tonight. That's the 2nd go he's at, the umpire. So it'll be a ball up down towards Hawthorn's centre half forward position. 96 plays 67. You could say that Melbourne have given them a nice drubbing tonight as Lovett gets the ball through. It's smothered. He goes up. Now it finally pushed away that time by Viney, I should say, over the line. Line goes for a pass, but good anticipation that time by Langford, but he's a bit slow. Well tackled by Coop. Picked up again by Dixon. A hand pass comes out wide to Loveridge. Weaves his way through the pack, but plenty of Melbourne players there to grab out. It comes to Batterston. Goes to Sara to win the game. And Melbourne go into the semi-final. 14-12, 96 Melbourne to Hawthorn 10-7-67. A great win to Melbourne tonight because they were never headed. They played determined. And I think the way they played tonight, we're going to see a lot more of Melbourne. They're a very determined side. Hawthorn, a very disappointing team. When you look through their lineup, it's hard to find about 3 or 4 good players. On the other hand, Melbourne had a team effort, and there were 10 or 12 players that fired all night. But there's no better player in my book than John on the wing. He did a magnificent job, but he was ably backed up by a couple of other players, particularly that Dean impressed.
4 goals, he kicked them, Dean. Batterston battled well all night, Lou.
Yes, and we had Yates doing a great job in defence with Conley, and also little Batterston scouting around the pack.
And scouting around well was Healy too. He picked up a lot of kicks before he had to leave the field.
I think we should mention too that Dunstall did very well at full forward considering the limited amount of opportunities he had up there. I thought he was well on top of you.
All right, well, there it is. Melbourne, a real boil over here. They never look like being beaten tonight at VFL Park, and they've upset the title holders and the reigning premiers in a very, very convincing manner. 14-12, 96 to 10-7, 67, and we'll be back for our summaries in just a few moments. Melbourne runaway winners over Hawthorn tonight. They won by 29 points. They outscored Hawthorn in every term, led from go to woe. The goal kickers for Melbourne, 4 to Dean, 3 to Regolo, 2 to Moore, 2 to Robbie Flower, and singles to Lyon, Johnson and Batterston. And for Hawthorn, Jason Dunstall got 4, Loveridge 2, Platten 2, and 1 to Jenke and also Curran. And so far as the best player is concerned, Peter Donegan has gone for Todd Viney, Jack Edwards has gone for Brian Wilson,
Insofar as I'm concerned, gentlemen, I thought the best player on the night was Alan Johnson on the wing, number 9. And
yes, I will agree with you, Peter. I thought he played an outstanding game.
Lewis?
I went for Johnson. I thought he was not only getting a lot of possessions, but the way he went about his job. He bored in and he set a fine example. I thought he played a great game.
And he did a tremendous smother there at the end of the quarter and went off injured. So that was typical of the way Johnson worked and his attitude to the game.
Can you see a good year ahead for Melbourne after 2 good performances in the night series, Don?
Well, you'd have to say that, Peter, and they've played particularly well. I didn't give them a chance tonight because Hawthorn are a star-studded side, but you couldn't underestimate Melbourne's intensity. The only thing that may let them down is their skill, and even when they had chances, their skill did let them down. So if they can work on that and combine that with the aggression, I think they'll be a very good side.
All right, so the winner of the National Panasonic Award tonight for being best on the ground is Melbourne's Alan Johnson. We'll take a break and we'll be back to try to make the presentation to Alan in just a few minutes. Well, it is St Patrick's Day, and I'm sure they're in clover now, down in the Melbourne dressing rooms. Our best player, Alan Johnson. Let's go down for the award presentation. Here's Peter Donegan.
Thank you, Pete. And this magnificent National Panasonic Compact Disc player will go to Alan Johnson, the best player on the ground. Alan, well done.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Well, you came off the ground in the last minute there. What was the problem?
I went to smother a ball from, I think, Chris Mew, and as I smothered it, he...
Well, all I can say is, Alan, that you may have to get a new compact disc player, and if you do, you can charge your teammates for it. But let's get back to the game. And it must have been difficult for you to believe in yourselves, even though you knew you had that great first half on the board. But it must have been difficult, and that's one thing John Northey impressed on you, to keep believing in yourself.
John said before the game, strict concentration. And I think from watching Geelong play Carlton, we tried to do exactly the same as they did. Pressure, concentrate, and it worked.
Well, 18 kicks, 5 marks, 3 handballs and 1 goal. A great performance, but you had a tremendous amount of help from the players all around the ground, and especially the running players did so well tonight.
Well, I think John summed it up after the game. He said he couldn't pick out one player. It was a complete team effort, and that's, I think, the way it should be considered too.
Well, I can tell you that we had a bit of difficulty picking out the best player too, but I'm sure you don't mind getting that shower of ice to get the National Compact Disc player.
No, not at all, Peter. I'd like to thank National Panasonic and Channel 7. Thanks
Alan,
so much.
well done, and good luck in the semi-finals, and also good luck in the first day game against Fitzroy.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Alan Johnson, the best player on the ground. We'll be talking to John Northey shortly, but in the meantime, back to the commentary box and Peter Lamb.
Well, thanks, Donna. Congratulations to Alan Johnson. I'm sure it will still work despite the shower of ice. Gentlemen, just before we get Don's summary, Hawthorn have their family day at Glenferrie Oval this coming Sunday. It's the final intra-club practice match. There's musical entertainment. There's an appearance by Brownlow medalist Dippy. He'll be down there, and free admission to holders of all 1987 ticket holders. And that starts from 11 a.m. this Sunday. Don, how did you see the Hawks' performance tonight?
Well, I was pretty disappointed with Hawthorn. We noticed a couple of times there when we flashed to the interchange bench, so the attitude of the players, and maybe that was indicative of the way they played. They promised a lot, and Hawthorn can never be denied. Although they were well behind at the about the 20-minute mark, they could, they gave him every impression that they could come back in. Melbourne, on the other hand, had different ideas. They work very, very hard. I think their intensity and their endeavour certainly outweighed their skill, and for Melbourne to be a really good side, I think they've got to work on their skill. As long as they can maintain the way they work, went in hard for the ball, the way they tackled, improve their skill, and they will be a very, very good side. It might be also an indication of what's to come this season, because a lot more teams are working on the defensive side of the game. We saw Geelong on Saturday night, and Melbourne's taken a leaf out of their book. They tackle the opposition, and when you do tackle the opposition in such a way, you really do drag them down to your level. Then you've just got to hang in, and Melbourne certainly did hang in. They had a lot of good players who tried particularly hard, and that player, Dean, on camera, would be a very, very frustrating player. He went in and kicked 4 goals tonight, and he did it fairly easy. Ball seemed to come his way, but he is a real opportunist, a typical half-forward flanker. He's got a little bit to learn, but this player there, Richard Loveridge, worked very, very hard for Hawthorn. And I also was impressed with one of the fellows who gave the handball, Dixon. He came on after half-time, didn't get a lot of kicks, but he set up a lot of plays, ran a lot, and I think he may be a player, a very team-oriented player. Gary Lyon, it was a good build-up by Melbourne. This was in the 3rd quarter, and I remarked at that stage that was the first time they showed any class when they really went forward. Peter Moore, I was really impressed with Peter Moore's game tonight, and I hope he continues the way that he did. He played very well in the inter-club game a couple of weeks ago at centre-half forward, and tonight showed what it's all about, especially if you don't get the ball. At least battle on and create the opportunities. And when he went into the ruck after half-time, he still battled on. He battled on up forward, kicked a couple of goals. He could have had a couple more, but I was really impressed with Moore's game, and I hope that his attitude stays that way, because the way they're going to play it, obviously they'll start with Dwyer and finish off with Moore. Flower, he's got a lot of time. He can sum up a situation as he did then. He knew Moore was over there. He endeavoured to get it across to him, and Peter Moore went around Peter Swab, and what a good piece of play, and Moore really happy. Deere battled very hard. He always does battle hard. He rucks unchanged. That's the player I was impressed with, Dixon. He got a hand pass across to Platten, and Platten kicked one of Hawthorn's few goals in the last quarter.
That summary by Don Scott of Melbourne's 29-point win over Hawthorn, and so the Hawks out of the National Panasonic Cup after winning it last year here at VFL Park. 10-7 to 14-12. Let's hear you go down to the Melbourne rooms now to hear what the Melbourne coach has to say, and here again is Peter Donegan with John Northey.
Right, Pete, well, whatever John Northey has to say, I'm sure that you will have a smile on your face. You must be delighted.
Oh, yes, I am, Peter. The boys played to instructions, and when they got out there, they were so desperate. I've never seen them as desperate as they have been, but they played to instructions. They manned up very quickly and put the pressure on Hawthorn, and of course, when we got the ball, at least we started running and we attacked most of the night. We did slip up occasionally, but most of the night we attacked. But the pleasing thing was that when Hawthorn did get the ball, we had pressure on them most of the time.
John, what sort of build-up do you go through for a game like this, where obviously you're the underdog? Just how do you get the players up to believe in themselves?
Well, I'm not too sure. I think that the main thing for a side like us, it's certainly every game is like a grand final, and I'd treated it as such after our first win against Richmond. I'd been working on the players about what I thought about Hawthorn's play and that sort of thing, and they just played it that way, and it just worked out well for us.
Well, you had a tremendous amount of trouble working out the best player tonight. There was a lot of discussion, and you must have found it hard too, which indicates it was a great team effort.
Oh, that's right. I took the boys into the room after, and it was a team effort. I think every player out there for Melbourne, the whole 21 of them, did something that was really crucial at that stage when they were near the ball. And I'm glad you've got the job of picking the best player and not me.
John, where have the Demons improved from last year? Because obviously they have.
Well, I think we're a bit more fierce in getting the ball. We attack the ball better. And I think certainly, look, the recruits we've got have helped us. There's no doubt about that. We can kick the ball onto the forward line and now at least look of scoring. Early in the game we didn't, of course. We had plenty of the play down on the forward line, but we didn't convert until Warren Dean started to get his feet, and Todd Viney also, you know, both played extremely well. And then, you know, there's other players like Brett Lovett, but I just think those recruits have certainly helped and given up the other players who there was a lot resting on their shoulders. Peter Moore, Robbie Flower, Brian Wilson, so much weight on their shoulders. At least that's been lifted because we have these few recruits.
It just seemed to me too, your handball was much more constructive than it's been for the last few years tonight.
Oh yes, Peter, every club works on those sort of deficiencies that we believe we have, and we've worked pretty hard on handballing and most aspects of the game. So, you know, if you work on it hard enough, you have to improve.
Obviously, you had a good look at Geelong and their performance the other night against Carlton. Can you beat them?
We played Geelong, do we?
Yeah, in the
first
yes,
semi. Yeah, well, they played, I mean, I think they gave everybody inspiration, Geelong, the way they played the other night, which was terrific, and we just tried to follow the same pattern. You know, if we play like we did tonight, and we would certainly have to play like we did tonight, certainly we can beat them, but, you know, they played extremely well. I suppose we'll just go into the game with the same confidence we had tonight.
John, do you put the night series out of your mind now and concentrate for the preparation of the day series, or is it something that's always in the back of your mind?
Oh, no, we've just got to go along concentrating on every game we play in. You know, certainly the day matches are extremely important. If we play in those, we go out and play to win. If we play in the night matches, we go out and play to win.
Well, congratulations on a marvellous performance tonight, and good luck for the rest of the series.
Thanks, Peter.
John Northey, the Melbourne coach, certainly delighted with a great effort tonight from the Demons. Let's go back to Peter Landy now in the commentary box.
Well, thanks, Pete. And it's rather interesting, gentlemen, isn't it, that the grand finalists of last year, both in the day and night competition, eliminated in successive rounds by Geelong and now Melbourne.
Well, that's a great thing for the competition, I reckon. It certainly brought it alive again, and I think most people thought it'd be a foregone conclusion. It'd probably be Carlton and Hawthorn or Eston and Hawthorn, and now Well, Carlton and Hawthorn are out. I was very impressed with a couple of players there, and I don't know what Dean, as you mentioned, you're summing up. And even though he didn't do a lot of work, but he battled hard, was that centre-half back, number 35, Spaulding. I think he'll be
he played very well in the ruck last time. So he played at centre-half forward, he played in the ruck, and now at centre-half back. A good find.
All right, well, Don in his summary mentioned a good game played by number 30 for Melbourne and Peter Moore, and Peter Donegan has him now in our interview position, so let's go back to the Demon Rooms.
Thanks very much, Pete. Well, Peter Moore, it must be lovely to play in those conditions, but even better when you get a win.
Oh, it was great. We very excited about it. Hawthorn was a bit down tonight and thought we were going to be a bit easier than we were, but we're very, very pleased. And it's just great to play this time of the year when it's warm and it's not raining.
Your job as a ruckman, you must have been delighted to see all the smaller players, all the running players gathering the ball with almost monotonous regularity all the way throughout the game.
Well, it was good. The boys competed very fiercely for the crumbs and they went in very hard, and that's what we're trying to get into our game. We believe we've improved a lot, and we're just trying to show that we have.
Just in closing, Todd Viney seems to have fitted into the side nicely.
Oh, yeah, look, the three guys from Interstate, Todd Viney and Warren Dean and Earl Spaulding, all proving to be very good players, and we're very lucky because often, you know, out of 3 recruits, you might get one good one, and we look like we've got 3 out of 3, which is very, very encouraging for the team for the year.
Pete, well played tonight. Good luck in the semi-final against Geelong.
Thanks, Pete.
Champion Melbourne ruckman Peter Moore. Once again, here's Pete.
Right, Dono, we'll take a break and we'll be back to look at the draw for next week in just a moment.